My family is demanding I come back home. So I revealed the reason I left.
Why did you leave?
And there's a trigger warning for financial mistreatment. So I've left home. I'm more or less homeless and lodging in a hotel that a friend paid for. This is due to my mom acting awfully for the first time since my dad passed away. I left 4 days later. By the way, this comes from user own zookeeper game 574. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice. Goofily, we don't have all the answers, though. We only know a little poquito. So if you know mucho, let us know in the comments.
Paquito is small and mucho. Come on, you should know mucho.
We should all know that. And OP says, I had already been planning on leaving later this year because she's been stealing from my late dad's estate that he left for me in his will. She's been selling some properties, and it's 2 years ago that I found out that that's actually a crime. When I tried to get her to do the right thing, she called me a gold digger, which is not the right use of that word. And since then, so many things have happened. I've gotten a lawyer, and we're working out logistics to get what's mine. After leaving home last Friday, I've had a barrage of calls from family members. Everyone has been trying to convince me to come home, and even trying to evoke my late dad's name to get me to come home. Cue this incident. My in-law calls me on Sunday and says my mom came to his house and told him what's happening. He started with saying that I'm making the wrong decision because 2 wrongs don't make a right. He doesn't know I left because of what my mother did, and I don't tell him because he says, quote, I won't ask what made you leave yet. I want you to go back so we can talk about it. Keeps on saying the path I'm on is wrong. All I try to say falls on deaf ears, and since we're Muslim, he starts quoting hadiths, sort of like a guide showing how the Prophet practiced what the Quran teaches in daily life to support him and me going back. After he's done, I finally get the chance to speak. I tell him that I'm thanking him for the concern, and even though I'm not ready to tell him the full story, I just want him to know that the main reason I've left is because my mom is stealing from an orphan. That's me, by the way. Now, in the religion, when your dad passes away, you are classified as an orphan. So I was letting him know my mom was stealing from me.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's
that clarified a lot there. I was like, whoa. Okay. Good to know.
Yeah, there we go.
Never knew that. Good to know.
So that was a subtle hint. You're like, yeah, she's stealing from an orphan. She's stealing from me.
Yeah, it's always when your in-law called you and you're like, no, come home, we gotta figure this out. Your mom told me what happened. Come on. Do you think mom really told him the truth or her truth?
The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yeah.
OP continues. And in our religion, stealing from an orphan gives you an automatic and cemented ticket to the bad place. And you guessed it, he decided to actually listen to me now.
Good.
He stopped trying to guilt me into going home. After I gave him a summarized version of events, he starts saying we need to talk to my mom. I need to tell the family, promptly forgetting his mission to get me to go back home. I felt very satisfied when he apologized and said he's sorry I'm going through that. Safe to say, he hasn't called me since. And since that experience, any other family member who calls, I just let them know she's stealing from me. And each and every one of them stops asking me to go back home. In all of this, it seems my mom didn't expect me to leave home, and she's been very remorseful and worried. But it's a little too late for that. And we do have some comments here. I mean, I think...
Oh, boy. Yeah. I would just have that will on hand and just, oh, mom wants me to come back home? Just send her a picture of the will. Just send her literally like, oh, for that part?
Well, clearly, like, culturally or religiously, whatever you want to call it, what she's doing is extremely frowned upon. So I think your easiest solution here might just be opening up another dialogue with your mom and reaching out and just being like, look, here's what's happening. People are knowing about it. You have the opportunity to just make it right. You've sold some of this stuff. Just let's put the money in an account. We don't even have to, it's not even that. Like, I don't know, maybe something that I don't have access to immediately. I don't know. Why is she doing this? Does she feel like you're not ready for it? Does she feel like you don't deserve it? Where's the reasoning?
Was she greedy? Yeah.
Right. And it's just, this is now, again, I'm opening it up as an opportunity for you to like do the right thing. And, and that's that.
And have family as witness.
And then if she still doesn't respond, then it's like, okay, now the lawyer's coming for everything. All right. So, and the lawyer's.
And more on top of that with, yeah.
And that lawyer is going to work really hard because the lawyer is going to have a way better chance of getting paid a good amount of money if he recoups all of that estate value.
Oh, yeah.
And then OP can liquidate some of it and pay the guy.
That lawyer is looking at that as like, that's easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give me a call. I'm ready.
So we've got comments. Comment 1, stealing from an orphan and trying to guilt her into coming back. Mama really played herself on this one. Comment 2, she is remorseful because you spoke up and she might go to jail, not because of what she did. I know this type of person all too well. OP replies to that, she doesn't know I've been telling the family the truth. So she's more or less clueless to the fact that family now knows she's selling properties she's not supposed to sell. She's actually thinking I've forgotten about it because I don't mention it anymore. I do suspect she's a self-absorbed person because of the other incidents we've had, so her remorse may come from some twisted way of quote-unquote loving me, but also the public disgrace of her only child leaving home. A third comment says, has her ability to continue to steal your inheritance stopped? It definitely sounds like once the truth is out, relatives quickly shut up. Even before they knew the truth, why do they want you back with mom so bad? Is it to help financially support her? Is she lonely, old? What's going on? OP replies, so, she's only able to sell stuff if I sign papers, and for the last 2 years, I've refused to sign any type of documents that have to do with selling anything.
Has she forged your signature?
Ooh, is she racking up felonies right now?
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy, oh, boy. My family wants me back with her because I'm the only kid of my parents. So more or less, she's the only one I have, and I'm the only one she has. Also because my dad was a pretty good person, so they feel an obligation to keep his family together since he wouldn't be happy his daughter and wife are at loggerheads. Also, I believe I was mistakenly referring to OP as man earlier, and for that I apologize. I got my he-she's mixed up. And yes, also because she's lonely. She doesn't have much friends, and family don't stay with us because she tends to yell and berate you when you displease her.
Oh, wow. Okay. And I feel like that's also why your family members, they were like, they weren't questioning you. They're like, okay, like, that's why you left? All right.
Yeah. They were like, all right, we'll do the thing based on principle. It's like you should be together because oh, she's doing that? Oh, thank God. Yeah, don't go back.
Yeah, we were like, they're like, we don't need proof. She's like, all your family members are like, okay, we take your word for it.
Yeah, we have an update. OP says, thank you to everyone for the kind words. A lot of you asked for an update on my current situation, and a lot has happened since my last post. Since then, I have moved from the hotel to my aunt's place. After speaking with that in-law, he asks me to tell some of the older people in the family, so I opt to tell my mom's oldest brother, and we agreed on a meeting last Sunday. Friday, my godfather asks to meet. He's honestly been my rock. He and my aunt have been very supportive. During our talk, he tells me to be patient and positive. He also asks me to send her a message just saying hello as my mom, and I have not communicated properly since I left. He tells me not to be anxious as in this situation, there's no way my mom is going to come out as a winner. He is of the reconciliatory opinion as he feels my mom is messing up her own life. He had said during last week that he would like for me to go back home for a short while just to sort the issues out, and I had anxiety. I had an anxiety attack. I think that made him realize how bad I feared going back, and he and my aunt came up with a temporary solution of me living with my aunt for at least a month to see if there's any hope. They also want to try all avenues before finally giving up because of their relationship with my late dad. Aunt is his sister, and godfather his best friend. After our meeting, I send my mom a message just checking up on her, and she goes into a rant about how she no longer classified herself as a mother, how I'm labeling her as useless, how I should just forget about her, and how I'm trying to say she's a wicked and cruel person.
Ah.
Your mother is self-absorbed. That is the most classic move of the narcissist.
I'm a terrible mother. Just let it go.
Mm-hmm.
I already know what I did was wrong, but let it go and leave me all the money.
You play the guilt, shame. Yep, I'm terrible. You've made me feel this way, and don't even talk to me because I don't deserve it, and that's what you think. And also, you're telling everyone that I'm so terrible and wicked and bad, and maybe I am, and I'll just be that way forever for the rest of my life. And what she wants is for you to go, no, Mama, I'm so sorry. I don't mean any of that. But I don't even think that warrants a response, honestly. She's not ready to have a conversation, clearly. OP replied, I just tell her, quote, glad to know you're all right. Take care. And keep it pushing. Yeah, baby. I tell my godfather this, and he says I shouldn't have replied, as he doesn't want me interacting with anything negative from her. I met my mom's brother on Sunday and tell him everything that happened. As he starts talking, I realize no one can speak to my mom because she disrespected him several times in the past, and he had just been keeping mute.
Ah, look at you, OP. You're just following suit. You're just doing what everyone else is doing, which is the right thing.
Yeah, the way she is with you is the way she is with everyone. And everyone knows it and doesn't like it already. My mom's brother also told me it was my grandparents who spoiled her because she would do something bad, and instead of correcting her, they would coddle her and go beg on her behalf. At the end of our conversation, I told him I'd be staying with my aunt so he shouldn't worry. On Monday, I ask for the day off from work and move my stuff into my aunt's place. My godfather then comes around and we go to my mom's place for the meeting. The agreement between them and her was she was not to have a back and forth with me. She was to listen to my concerns and how I felt. During this meeting, she was entirely disrespectful.
Shocking. Wow. She's just... I want to see this woman play poker.
Oh.
Show me your poker face.
She kept yawning. She kept trying to rush me by saying, hurry up and say your points because I want to write them down. You're going around in circles. And she even told me she has work tomorrow, so I should hurry up. My uncle kept telling her to allow me to speak because we weren't here to have an argument. I told her how I felt about the emotional and financial abuse and how her constantly telling people when we had arguments so they would blame me made me feel. When I was done, she started deflecting and saying stuff like, some of my concerns were not a big deal, and they were very repetitive. My uncle shut that down and told her that wasn't the point. The point was to hear me out. I was just glad I got to see my little sisters as I had missed them so much. Aw. On the ride back, my uncle and aunt discussed how she kept trying to trivialize my concerns and how that was very concerning. My uncle and I speak every day, but for now, I'm with my aunt, and my anxiety has been so low. I'm still anxious because this is a high-stress situation, but I don't have to deal with her or managing what I say and how I say it. All I need to do is exist. Oh, man, that sounds like that made me relax, and I'm not even stressed out. Like,
I exist.
Yeah, it's so being in an environment with, a parent like this can be, or anybody like this. It's like you constantly are like self-checking yourself of like, oh, I need to make sure I say this way, or you're constantly trying to avoid conflict and you're doing that. Just being able to like not have to worry about any of that. So great. So great. Family are still bothering me and calling me. One uncle called me just to say he understands what I'm going through, but I should go back home for the sake of the kids. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that OP was their mom. What do you mean the sake of the kids? Get the kids out of that house.
Yeah, clearly you didn't get like the point.
I have enough to get my own place, but it helps to also save a little more, so my aunt's place is good. And my mom does not know where she lives, so I count that as a win. Wow, that's a concerning point to have there. Anyway, there's another update. Yeah, I think if we're like straight up being like, well, I do like living here because my mom doesn't know where to find me, that really, I think, tells me all I need to know.
Yeah, and at this point, if family members keep calling you and asking you, you just tell them like, you know my reasons. If you've already told them. You're like, you know my reasons, respect that. That's it.
Yeah. Update number 2. I know usually that when the topic of moving out is brought up, the advice is to say it cut and dry. but I have a lot of anxiety and still a bit of people pleasing in me, so I wanted help with telling my mom I'm moving out and not coming home permanently. I wrote a long essay down to tell her, but I'm realizing it's too long. Regardless of how she feels, I plan to move. So I've already accepted the fact she's going to throw a mega tantrum no matter how I say it. And there's an edit here. So just to let everyone know, all my personal belongings aren't even home. I was staying with my aunt. So I had divvied up my belongings, and the half that wasn't at my aunt's place is already at the place I have paid for. I have signed a lease, and I have paid rent. I'll be moving the half that's at my aunt's place in a couple of days, but in order not to make her blame my aunt, I have to tell my mom before I go. She is the only one who doesn't know I have a place at this point. And there's a third update. And yeah, she doesn't know because she's a nightmare to talk to.
I was like, does she really need to know?
I mean,
At
I
this
think,
point?
yeah, I think she needs to know insofar as like you said, like you wrote an essay and it's too long. It's like you could probably tell her everything she needs to know in 4 sentences.
I was going to say, all you have to say is, I'm moving out.
I'm moving out. It's not temporary.
Bye.
Tell my sisters I love them. They're free to come over whenever. And I do love you. And I hope nothing but the best for you, even though you've stolen from me. And
Lawyer
that's
up.
not for her. That's for you.
Yeah. Lawyer up. That's what I would say. I'm moving out. Lawyer up.
Yeah. That'd be pretty intense. But that is exactly what you should continue to lawyer up.
Three sentences. I'm
You
moving
know?
out. Lawyer up. Get ready.
Update number 3. It's been a whole 6 months since I gave an update.
Half a year.
A lot has happened in these 6 months. I would start with the semi-good things. I moved out in April. I rented a house with my savings, and I now live there with 2 friends. It's over an hour away from my familial home, and my mom has been over once. I refuse to give the location to her or anyone else. I am now also able to cut her calls and ignore her messages because I am physically away from her now. I am slowly getting back into my passion and hobbies. I've been able to get an estimate from the lawyer about the legal fees and how to proceed. My mom traveled shortly after the last update. We had agreed that I would be coming home on the weekends from my aunt's place, but when she traveled, it dawned on me that the end goal for all of them was for me to return back home. They had somehow believed her empty promises and kept reminding me of her age and how she is more prone to stress and illness, and I would not want anything bad to happen to her, so I should just go back home. I felt cornered. It was only the support of my friends that kept me going. I decided at that moment that I needed to finally choose myself, so I went house and apartment searching along with 2 friends while my mom was gone. We found a beautiful place, and I drained my savings and paid for it 3 days before she arrived back in the country. All this time, she had been telling everybody that I was coming back. She even went as far as buying me very expensive things because she and I were going to bond over it once she was back. I called my godfather and told him I cannot go back, but he did not budge from his position, so I wrote a heartfelt message to my aunt. She understood and agreed on the condition that I do not live alone and I should continue to visit my mom on the weekends. 2 days after my mom arrived, I told her I was moving out the next day. I told her it was for the best, for work, emotion, and growth. And she at first started crying and told me she needed me and couldn't live without me, and I was all that she had since my dad passed away. Oh my God, what about your sisters? I hope to God none of your other sisters overheard that. I can't imagine how internalized I would make that information.
Yeah, I feel like, well, it depends on how old they are, but I think this is showing everyone in your family that you're capable of being on your own, but also inspiring your sisters that they can go off as well.
Yeah. Oh, my mom then started to list off compromises she was willing to go along with, which I knew were all lies. And some of these compromises had been promises she had told me years ago that she never followed through on. And then she tried the good old-fashioned emotional blackmail. Her yelling grew louder, and she started screaming that I was hurting her. Her sister, my older aunt, was on the ground floor hearing all this, and the neighborhood, quite frankly, could hear her. My aunt came up to ask what was going on. I had told her I was leaving before my mom arrived from her trip, and she gave me her blessing. My mom yelled I was abandoning her and I did not love her. My aunt took me somewhere else and asked me to calm down. Ask you to calm down?
Well, out of the two, who can be calmed down?
You know what? Extremely valid point. After calming down, my aunt took me to my room where I stayed until the next day, which was the day I was leaving. I had already moved the majority of my belongings to my aunt's place, so I only had 2 mini bags to carry from my mom's house. My aunt shooed me away and told me not to tell her, to just leave and inform my mom when I'm gone, so a repeat of the previous day did not occur. I thanked her. My housemate drove me to my aunt's place and we picked all my belongings up and moved to the new house. My mom called later that night and spoke to me in the calmest voice ever.
That's scary.
Yeah, feels freaky. And started trying to convince me again, but when she realized it was not working, she asked to come see the place. It was a point of contention with one of my housemates because they felt that for my safety, she should not know where I live. We finally agreed that I would ask my therapist about it, and he told me to allow her to come see the place just once. So, my housemate agreed, and she came to see the place. She came with my aunt and uncle and left after 10 minutes of walking around. Yeah. Boy, oh boy. Well, that certainly sounds like someone who can't live without you. Comes and sees your place for 10 minutes and leaves. Yeah. My kids' sisters later told me that she called the house ugly compared to the family house.
Of course she did. Of course she. I knew it. I was waiting for that.
I finally had something that was mine and away from her. And she has continuously tried to pick fights with me, but I have been able to ignore them so far. However, 3 weeks ago, I got the estimate to do the probate from the lawyer, and it is a little over $13,000 without lawyer's fees. Wow. Seems like maybe a lot. And that's without lawyer's fees. In that same week, I found out from my kid's sisters overhearing my mom's conversations that she is selling assets behind my back again. I've only been able to pay $286 out of that amount because it was for filing, leaving me with $12,773. The courts here don't take assets as payments, and I cannot access the assets until I do the probate. I have given myself until October to get that amount because the courts are on vacation here right now and would be back in October. I do not know what to do or who to ask because I don't want to burden my friends. I finished uni this year, so I don't even have a stable job yet to be able to take a bank loan. I am so afraid that she will sell what was supposed to be for my future. In addition, she continues to have the audacity to pick fights with me, as she tried to say it is my fault that she does chores and her laundry since I moved out because I'm the one who's supposed to be doing all of that. Yeah, dude, how's this still going on? If you got the slam dunk case, reach out to your family. Reach out to the people who also know how freaking obstinate and awful your mom is to deal with and tell them that she is again stealing more stuff from you. I feel like they would help you out with the $13K to get the ball rolling on the legal proceeding.
Just keep getting proof. Keep recording this. Get documents. Anything and everything to help your case, which I don't think you even need that much of because I feel like it would all be reimbursed to you. But if it's all really stressing you out, I feel like one of your family members, or at least a couple, because they know your situation and know your case, will be able to help.
I reach out to your godfather, your dad's best friend. Reach out to your godfather, who is your uncle, I guess, uncle-in-law,
something like that. Yeah.
I guarantee you can get that help. You don't want to wait any longer. She's gonna sell everything. It's gonna be way easier to get what is due to you by, getting something official happening versus she sells all this crap and then you have to go after her for her assets for whatever's liquid. She's trying to hide stuff. She's trying to buy stuff. Who knows?
And if that's the case, just be like, I know what you're doing. Keep doing it. It's gonna come back to you.
Yeah, dude. And it's like,
keep doing it.
You keep doing it, you might end up in freaking jail because you're doing crime. You're thieving. You are stealing. Legally, if that stuff is left to me and I am an adult, you are stealing from me.
Yeah, I don't understand the family members who are like, yeah, you should leave her, or like, we get it, but then you should go help take care of her. You're like,
well, it just goes back to that, like the, traditional notion of like, it's no matter how terrible a person is, if they are related to you by blood, you just
your
have to
elders.
deal with
It's
them.
your elders kind of thing, and you gotta
Yeah.
respect. Yeah, no, I get it.
Especially culturally,
Yeah.
It's, But, by the way, if you want to be a part of this culture, go listen to full episodes with stories just like this on your favorite podcast platforms like iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever. All you have to do to find us is search OK Storytime, and you've got a crap ton of stories to listen.
What kind of metric is a crap ton?
Like, you remember Jurassic Park? It's like that.
But more.
OP continues. I am trying to find ways to get this money, trying to borrow smaller amounts from people, but it's going to be very hard as I feel everyone is going through something that they also need their money for. If you're seeing this and you are religious in any way, please keep me in your prayers. I need it now more than ever. And there is an edit here. I wanted to add that since I don't have a stable job, I still have to periodically go home to my mom so I could get a little money out of her for upkeep and transport for my temporary workplace, as she will not send the money if she knows I can come home. That's why I have not been able to go fully no contact, and why I feel the heavy weight on me to finish this legal issue so I don't have to depend on her anymore. That's the end of that story.
Yeah. Very interesting.
My family's talking to me again after I won the lottery.
Well.
So I, 21 female, won the lottery quite a while ago. I don't really need to go further into how much, but it's a lot. I've decided to donate a lot of it to charities, especially towards NICU babies, since my son was in there, and then put the rest away.
That's awesome.
Nice. Go take care of those little babies.
Yeah.
By the way, this comes from user Lotto Winner Throwaway. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Sophia.
I'm Carly.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We're not Woodrow Wilson. We only know what we would do. So let us know what you would do down in the comments. And OP says, I didn't tell anyone about this whole thing because I knew friends and family, 24 to 58, male and female, that was, I'm going to say that was really unnecessary to put that in there.
It's such a large range.
I knew that they could turn into money-grubbing folks, but I decided to tell my sister, who really needed the money to pay rent for herself, and told her not to tell anyone because of these reasons.
You fool! Why did you tell her?
She went against my wishes and contacted them.
Why did you do that?
Mamma mia.
I gave you one job.
I mentioned to her that he'll try prying back into our lives. So yeah, most of my family, being my dad and his side of the family, isn't talking to me because his family hates his children for being half Japanese, half European.
Well, that family sucks.
May I just say, what a cool combo. He listened to his own mother and went back to his home country, but he is still in contact with my sister and brother, who are the same as me. And just to recap, we're talking about dad.
Okay, Dad.
We're talking about dad.
Okay.
I was devastated at first, but eventually moved on, not having much closure from my dad. I've never met my mother either, apart from her giving birth to me and handing me over to my dad.
Dang.
She left after having 3 kids and depression. Well, as you can see, my family is back and talking to me as if nothing happened, and gaslighting me as per usual as before, saying I'm crazy and that my dad never left.
Wait, that's insane. That's absolutely insane. For them to say, he was here this whole time. OP, are you feeling okay? Your dad's been here every day. I mean, there was a time when he went on a business trip. Maybe that's what you're thinking of. That's weird. That's weird that they're doing that.
My quote-unquote grandmother would come over to my house from her own country and pretend to visit her great-grandchildren while saying how sick she is and how her knee is hurt and she needs surgery, but they can't afford it. Then my dad would come over, and at this point, I was wondering to myself why I was letting these people in, and eventually told them to leave after they asked to look after all of my money. Now they're slashing my tires, stealing my mail, trying to talk to my husband into letting them inside, Facebook and emailing, etc.
And that's when we get the police involved. I'm sorry, they're slashing your tires. Camera right here. Boom, 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 right on your car. You set a trap for them, Home Alone style. We catch them in the act. We arrest them. You keep your money.
Big facts. My mother also got into contact with me too for the first time in my life and immediately asked for money. She has a drinking problem, and I hung up and had a cry. My husband has noticed how badly this has escalated and asked if we should move to a better area. I didn't want to leave, mainly because of the kids' schools and friends around this area, but it's probably for the best. I have no idea what to do about my family, though, and there are some comments. There's a couple ways to go about it.
Yeah.
I mean, depending on how much money you made, you can just send them like just one lump sum and be like, here's money. Leave me alone forever now.
I think you use the money to hire the best lawyer in the biz.
For what?
Sue him. For slashing your tires?
Sorry. I
Yeah,
think
go back to that
kinda,
line.
I kind of unlocked in.
Yeah, because the
Oh,
echo.
yeah. Slashing my tires, stealing my mail. That's a felony. Trying to talk. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, sue him.
Do you have footage of that? Yeah, because if you do have any footage of that, I would definitely
That's
do
what
that.
that whole tirade was, tirade of me going, camera.
We have some top relevant comments. User Skrill Talk says, call the cops?
Yeah.
Most of the things you listed was illegal. A restraining order could be put in place. It sounds harsh, but it seems necessary.
Now, I'm no lawyer, but that sounds illegal.
OP says, hey, thanks. I think I might file a police report about the tire slashing and mail stealing. I don't know why I haven't done it sooner. Maybe I've just been giving them excuses since they're related to me.
Probably.
A deleted user says, tell your sister the money's gone. Maybe she'll tell them and they'll back off. Get restraining orders and call the police if they are on your property. Slashing your tires and stealing your mail is illegal. Being related to you isn't an excuse. OP says, thanks. I am considering a restraining order. It seems like my best bet right now. I'm also going to file a police report and set up some cameras around the property. OP replied to deleted comment, it is a coincidence.
What was a coincidence?
What was a coincidence?
It's just a coincidence.
Oh, the mom reaching out. I'm wondering who has contacted her, my mother, and I'm guessing it's my sister again. My dad is Japanese and my mother is European. User Dork Chops. You have a common problem on our relationships called family itis. Basically, people give their families a pass because the family is related to them and society teaches you that you're supposed to love your family. You also probably still have an emotional connection with them, but you have to realize that these people do not have your best interests at heart and you're basically at war with them. They probably do not respect you and are manipulating you to get things from you. Just because you are related to them doesn't mean they can't look at you as an object that they can use and take advantage of. You have to try to look at this rationally. You need a friend that can give you logical, rational advice unclouded by your family emotions. You need to make it clear to them that if they keep messing with you, extremely bad consequences will follow. OP replies, family-itis. I love it. I do have an emotional connection with them. I think I'm too much of a pushover and need to work on that. I enable too much and need to stand up. I think I might call up my therapist for some help. And there is an update 2 months and 2 days and 2 hours and 2 seconds later.
Oh boy. Yeah, I just agree with all those comments saying let's get the police involved. Let's get somebody else on these people.
In the words of Ludacris, stand up. Ba-boom, boom, boom, tipple, stand up. When I sue, you sue your family because they suck. When you sue, I sue your family because they suck.
In the words of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, California, rest in peace.
Mr. Chili Pepper. I didn't know we were going to have a guest on today.
Sophia Chili Pepper.
So nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Dakota story time.
Whoa!
I realized people were trying to figure out where I came from since the dialect or the tone of my writing is a bit off. I actually have a bit of a learning disability, so my partner comes on and sort of corrects things for me. Okay. Supportive partner.
The way that you said that's funny. Everyone's wondering where I'm from. It's my learning disability.
I'm actually I'm learning disabled.
It's like when someone says like someone's talking to someone with a lisp and they're like, "Oh my god, like where are you, like British? Where are you from?" And they're like, "Nope, just have a speech impediment."
So we ended up having to move, which is no problem, to be honest. It was the safer route for our little family that's growing. We also installed extra security and have contacted police, schools, neighbors, etc. I'll tell you the story. First of all, I'm just going to say that I stopped talking to my sister. She's acting as if she did nothing wrong, but she knows what she did. So about a month and a half ago, we had already started packing. since we were moving away. My dad texted me and asked if I wanted to meet up just myself. I said no at first because I knew that he was going to try and yell at me again for not giving him any money, as well as my grandma. I looked into Raised by that was suggested by some people since he tried to gaslight me a lot. He then ended up writing an email and apologized for everything he had said and done on his and grandma's behalf. I was actually surprised my dad was apologizing for the first time in his life. Well, he's motivated to apologize by the money.
He's like, I feel so bad. I feel so bad about how I treated you.
Yeah, and doesn't your back hurt from carrying around all that money?
And then he starts doing the no face, except instead of giving the money, he goes
Hey, buddy, I'm hungry, and I want you to feed me your money. Feed me your money.
That was really good.
He then asked if we could meet again, so I caved in and met him. Boo! We went to a cafe, and I had a really nice time talking to him, yet I felt a bit off. We were probably sitting there talking for about an hour. He was checking his phone a lot. After we left, I went straight home. My partner had our son with him, and found that the property we were living in at the time had been broken into.
Oh, arrest them.
Conspiracy.
They're trying to steal your stuff.
Also, like, just to loop back into how dumb your dad is, like, what did they broke into your house, and it's like, what, did they think you were just going to leave all of your money in a pile somewhere?
Yeah, they were like, look for the money pile, everyone. Move out. It's got to be in a bowl somewhere.
I realized at that point that Dad used me as a sort of decoy or something. I called the police immediately and told them that we have secret installation and cameras, so we'll be able to see who did what and when. They scanned the house with a German Shepherd dog and had an inspection and investigation. Meanwhile, I contacted my partner and then went down to the police station with them. They started watching the videos, and behold, it was my own effing grandmother.
Your grandma broke into your house?
People do crazy things for money, man.
Grandma.
I guess she doesn't need that knee surgery after all. I asked the officers what I could do, and like many suggested in the first post, they suggested a restraining order, specifically a protection order, right away. What do you mean? Why aren't you prosecuting them for breaking and entering?
They literally broke and entered, and we have proof.
They burglarized your home.
They burglared your home. This is crimes. Crimes are being committed.
Burglars.
I had the evidence.
We're here to burgle your turts.
What is that from?
Over the garden wall. We're burglars. We're here to burgle your turts.
Yeah. And he's like, we're not burglars. We're not burglars.
Yes, we are.
I had the evidence. I was so wound up, I just wanted to call my dad and effing yell at him because I knew he and Grandma planned this together. I decided not to because that could jeopardize things in court.
Oh, that's so funny. I knew him and Grandma were in cahoots. Grandma was wearing a little ski mask.
Yes, my criminal grandma.
Yeah, the grandma's just like, what are you talking about? She's knitting in court. I would never do such a thing, officer. And they're like, we know you were there. She's like, fine, you got me.
They just hold $100 bill in front of her, and she turns into Bilbo Baggins, grabbing for the ring.
Yeah.
They ended up stealing my jewelry and my partner's Oculus. No idea why. I told my partner to store it away properly, but he didn't. The police officer asked me why I didn't want to press charges on them for slashing my tires and stealing my mail. I said I had the benefit of the doubt about them, but I was wrong. The police found my grandmother and father around my property and arrested them. They were standing there pretending to be worried and sad that my house was broken into. My dad went to trial. He couldn't afford a lawyer, so he had a public defender. My father is to be sentenced to 4 years in prison for robbing our house. I ended up finding out that he did a home invasion many years ago, went to prison, and then came out and flew to his home country after his parole ended. I was taken aback by all of this. My grandma is currently in the hospital because she actually did hurt her knee and leg from breaking into our house.
Well, Grandma, that's on you. I simply, that, you know what? If you break into a house, it's kind of a physically demanding activity.
I'm gonna bust out the Woody Harrelson from Zombieland, and I'm gonna wipe the tears away from my eyes with all my $100 bills.
I found the movie that this reminds me of.
And you know what I want to remind you of? I want to remind you really quick that you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this on your favorite podcast platforms like Spotify, iHeartRadio, or Apple Podcasts. Really, wherever you listen to podcasts, all you have to do is search OK Storytime, and you've got the kit and the caboodle. And with those two things together, I'm not sure what you could make.
We make charges and we press them.
I agree. I think that I think that's been done.
Yeah.
Happy 4 years in prison, Dad.
Press them quicker. But yeah, I mean, that would be my only advice, which you've already done. So we're on track.
And they're moving. They're moving and shaking, and Dad's in prison. So
Love to see it. Love to see it.
public service announcement. If you happen to stumble upon a large deposit of gold, don't tell the government about it.
And it was Dakota's, and he lost it, so you should bring it back to him.
Don't tell the government. Bring it to me.
They will take it from you. If you find buried treasure, don't tell anyone, because the government will take it away from you.
If Grandma had stolen that money, how would she even have, put it away?
That's again, like, are they so dumb they thought you had a Scrooge McDuck money pile in there?
They thought you had a money pit that you were diving into every day.
At least right now, I have a protection order against them. They cannot come near me or my family or the property. As for my partner and my son, I apologized to him and said I shouldn't have met my dad. He understood and just said that it's normal to crave love. I'm really honestly heartbroken that my family would do this to me. But at least we've moved into a better property. I can get the therapy I need, and I can focus on my new family. Thank you for reading. And there are some comments here. Deleted user says, I feel really absolutely terrible for you, but I laughed my behind off at your grandmother's injury.
That's so funny.
Poetic justice. Opie says, ha ha ha, I laughed too. She deserved it. She's still in hospital being treated for her knee, but her trial is coming up.
Oh my goodness, this is going to be like unusual suspects? Yeah, she comes in with her little
No, stop. You're spoiling the usual suspect. User Sissy says, what about your sister after she found out about your dad's arrest? Does she feel guilty in any of this? OP says she thinks she did nothing wrong. Deleted user says, I'm so sorry this happened to you. Did you get the jewelry back? OP says, I did not. I assume they sold them, but it's fine because they weren't important. I stored the important jewels in our safe.
Well, that's good. I like that OP had planned for this, and you're fine now. You just lost your Oculus, which, you know what? We need to spend more time in the real world, not in VR anyway. So really, they did you a favor.
Yeah, I mean, that's debatable.
It's debatable.
But
that's the end of that story.
It
and
is.
We've got a little replacemunto.
My family hired a private investigator to find me after they all disowned me.
If you wanted out of my life, stay out.
So I, 36 male, got into some trouble 15 years ago. I take all the responsibility for this, and even to this day, I carry all the shame, guilt, and embarrassment for it. Also, this might come up. This is not cultural or a religion thing. It's just shame to the family name. By the way, this comes from user Brins89, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Angie.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. As OP says, the situation was when I was 19. My ID was stolen and being used in another state, and created a situation where my driver's license was suspended nationwide. Somehow, any and all notifications from the other state never made it to me. I started doing all the necessary things I needed to do to try and fix the problem. I, however, had a couple of tickets in my current state that I needed to pay, but couldn't because I needed to pay my rent and keep my apartment. Also, at the time, my full-time job was having problems and was borderline shutting down. So to try and make ends meet, I was doing a lot of freelance work as well. I was hoping that with a couple more freelance jobs that I'd be able to finally pay the tickets. This was never the case, and the long story short of it is I was arrested and spent 2 weeks in jail. Dang, they arrested you on parking tickets?
Uh-oh.
That's brutal. Not ideal, but I guess in the long run it worked out for the best by clearing the tickets in my home state. However, my family felt otherwise, and I was completely disowned because of this. I lost everything and everyone. The only reason I still had my apartment was because I had enough to cover the rent and the freelance work kept up. It took another 6 months, but I was finally able to get the other state to release my driver's license. I decided that since my family hated me, I didn't need them. So a year later, I changed my last name, my phone number, and email. Which is fair if your whole family disowns you over parking tickets that you didn't pay.
Yeah.
Because life.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy of them to do that. My social media is locked down so tight, you would think I was hiding national security secrets. I was able to finish college and get settled into my career, and at this point, I'm happier than I've ever been. Enter the current time. And 2 weeks ago, there was a knock on my door, and it was my mom and dad.
Whoa.
And again, it had been 15 years, and I hadn't spoken to them. Not one word. The only thing I could get out of my mouth was, "How did you find me, and what are you doing here?" My mom's response was, $5,000 to a PI. Finally, a search of Facebook with just your first name found you, and the PI confirmed it was you. Dang, you spent $5,000 on a guy to type your name into Facebook?
Oh my God. Okay, listen. Maybe we should look into being PIs. We could find people so easy.
I responded, "You didn't answer my second question. What are you doing here?" My mom, again, "It's been 15 years. Looking at where you are, it seems you've learned your lesson and you're succeeding. You've missed out on a lot of things."
In other words, I need money from you.
OP says, I ended with, "Yes, I have learned my lesson. One of them is, I don't think anyone will ever help you or be understanding, even your family. And yes, I did succeed, and I did it entirely without you. Please leave, and don't come back." I shut the door in their face, locked it, checked the back door, and closed all the curtains. I'm guessing they hung around for another 15 minutes, knocking, demanding to be let in. I went back to bed, turned the fan on high, and went back to sleep. And then I did some research. And I have missed out on a lot. I have nieces and nephews, brothers and sisters-in-law. But the truth is, I don't know any of them, and I don't think I need to. I live a very quiet life. I can count on 2 hands how many friends I actually have. A friend said I may have taken it too far, and that I should have given them a chance, and if I didn't like what they had to say, then I could have told them to go away. I was hoping that this was going to be the end of it, but now they have taken to stalking me. I'll be completely honest, they are harmless, but just a real pain in the butt. And also, I have been effing with them to have some fun with the help of a friend. He now calls them fleas and will check on me asking if I have fleas or not. It's kind of funny. If I say yes, then it's game on. The first night he came over and we walked downtown to a really expensive restaurant that I knew they were never going to go to. Another night we went to the corn store. That was the best one. This past week, the way my days off fell, I had a 5-day stretch, so I decided to go to the city for a few days. I'm walking distance to the Amtrak station, and they followed me. I kept my AirPods in the whole time, and I know they were trying to talk to me, but I ignored them the entire time. People on the platform even were letting me know that they were talking to me, and I said that I know, but I don't want to deal with them. The train came, and I got on and left them to watch. I loved it. It got to the point I finally had to acknowledge them. They weren't going to go away, so we met at the park across from my apartment, and I didn't hold anything back. I told them this was the one and only time I was going to talk to them. I took a page from the Matlock series and told them I was their judge. I was their jury. I then told them that as far as I was concerned, they were guilty of anything and everything, and all I was doing was hearing what they had to say before I walked away from them. I asked them why now, after 15 years, are they demanding to be back in my life, and why they made the decisions they did to disown me. They told me that I ruined the family name, and that the shame I brought to the family was horrible, and that this was the only way to make it right, to get rid of me. They said that recently my name has been coming up in conversation, and that the family has grown with a lot of new people. That brothers and sisters-in-law are asking questions about who is Brinley. That I have a niece who they think I would love and get along with, and the same for a nephew who was born last year, and now should be the time to fix things. It almost sounds like they're like, yeah, you would be really useful if you helped take care of these kids.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Like, you would love these infants
Yeah.
and toddlers that you could watch and take care of.
Right. Interesting.
So great. They said that looking at my apartment and the life I had, that I must have learned my lesson about being a better person and managing my life better. I finally cut them off and told them I couldn't stand to hear any more. I was at the point I could hear my heart beating in my ears. I told them that I did everything completely by myself. Nobody from that life exists anymore. Not one person. They just need to tell everyone the truth, that I was in jail for 2 weeks, and because of this, the decision was made to get rid of me. I told them that I did it all on my own and that my one cousin, John, who is only a cousin by marriage, was the only one who was there for me, hence why I took her last name. I told them that to this day, I'm doing everything on my own and rely on nobody and don't need or want them in any way of my life. They made their decisions and I'm making mine. I told them this will be the last time we talk and that I would be going to see a lawyer to see if there was anything that could be done to keep them away from me, and that if they continue to follow me around or show up at my apartment, I would have them arrested for trespassing. And then I went back home and again locked everything down, pulled the curtains, and have been crying since.
Wow.
And there's an update.
Dang, sucks.
I think we might need to get back into therapy about this.
Yeah,
It's pretty jarring to have all that come back.
Yeah.
Many of you have been asking for an update. First and foremost, thank you all for your responses. I was overwhelmed. I read every single one. I just couldn't keep up to respond to them. I also worked some extra shifts and had some really nice overtime, which right now comes in handy. Please just know I was not ignoring you. I just couldn't keep up. It's okay, OP. It's okay.
We'll
You're
forgive
okay.
you.
This isn't the update that many of you were most likely hoping for. I have not heard from my family since I confronted them. I am hoping that it's all done and over, but at the same time, I'm thinking that they are trying something else. I wanted to address some other things. Many are saying that they are out for money or body parts, that they see I'm successful and such. I can't see this being the case. I truly don't think it's for money. If they were able to drop $5,000 for a PI, then I can't see them hurting financially.
That's actually a really good point.
That's a pretty heavy investment. My dad worked as an ORD for his entire career and made good money. My mom worked for a global corporation as a historical document manager. Others said maybe they need body parts. I can't see this being the case either, because all of these would have been mentioned the first or the last time we talked. People have mentioned that they see me successful and want in on it and take credit for saying that they are responsible for that in how they treated me. I'm successful in my own way. My education is in healthcare management and I work as a unit secretary. I have been here for a while and I truly love my job. I'm at the top of my pay scale, and that's okay. I have made a life for myself. Yes, I do have some money stashed away. I live below my means to do what I have done. I'm single, no kids, so it has allowed me to save money. And now, on with the update. I have not heard from any of them since the last time we met where I confronted them. I'm hoping that they're just gone at this point. I truly don't want anything to do with any of them. I don't care that I have nieces or nephews or that I have new brothers and sisters-in-laws. I would have to know my sister and brother and my parents to know all these new people. And frankly, all of them are strangers. And it just brings up a lot of bad emotions. My cousin Jean is the only person who I have anything to do with, and she has been my rock. I can't begin to thank her enough for all she has done. She has been on vacation for a few weeks, so she doesn't know much of what happened. She got back and came over the other night. She showed up with wine, pizza, and cheesecake. God, I love that woman. I opened the door and was greeted with, "The wise woman has arrived and has brought the makings of a great evening." I love Jean. Jean is great.
We all love Jean.
Number one, Jean.
Oh, yeah.
I started crying to her response. "However, it looks like I should have arrived a few days ago," said Jean. She sat everything on the counter and just hugged me to get me to calm down. Finally, as she opened the wine and fixed up dinner, I told her everything. At the end, she got a vindictive smile on her face and was like, "We need to talk. It's time for some old family secrets to be told."
Whoa, okay. I think we're going to get
Mm.
some like behind the scenes of like mom and dad's real reaction to the parking tickets, or maybe they had parking tickets all along.
They've got something.
Yeah.
The secret family shame.
something.
She started with telling me that regardless of what others had said, what happened wasn't my fault. I was stuck in the perfect storm, which just blew up. She told me she saw my folder that had all of the work I had done to fix the problem, but it just didn't go fast enough. She reminded me that I didn't hurt anyone. I wasn't dealing out substances or anything like that. I was just stuck in a situation that didn't get fixed fast enough. She went on to tell me that it was no surprise that when I did the name change, that I chose the one I did. Come to find out, it was the last name I was born under, which was my grandmother's, my mom's mom, my grandmother's maiden name. Jean said, "Don't let your parents fool you. They are not the pure pillars of community that they want you to believe. I have always known that their relationship was not the best, but when I was born, they were split up, and my mom was trying to hide me from my dad. My grandparents didn't like him, so it was decided to give me my grandmother's family name."
Whoa. Interesting piece of lore.
Yeah, secret, you have shamed the family, and also when you were born, I literally hid you from your father.
Yeah, like what? Were you just ashamed of me from the beginning?
Oh, you've always been very family-centric.
Yeah.
And by the way, if you want to be family-centric with us, all you got to do is search OK Storytime on your favorite podcast platform, because there you will find full episodes with stories just like this. I'm talking iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen. Just search OK Storytime. And there's a little bit left of this episode.
I feel like it would just make me more mad. It's just like, oh, I sullied the family name that like wasn't even my dad's name. Like what?
That just adds such a weird layer of like the family name. You've insulted the family name. It's like, dude, like, wait, it's not even.
Yeah.
It's not even real.
Like you didn't even think that the family name was that serious from the beginning. So why?
Strange.
It's very weird.
Jean was getting more and more pissed off as she spoke to me. She said, "So let's talk about names. Since they are so focused on how you shamed the family name, your mother was the one who was born under the influential names. Her mother's family, the name you took, pretty much owned 2 of the local towns in our county. Your grandfather's name owned a few businesses in a different town. Your father's family was never heard of. They were from a different state and moved here for work purposes. Your dad has been riding off of your mother's name and connections. Even to this day, your dad's family is pretty much a bunch of unknowns. On top of that, even if your grandparents were alive, they would have been completely behind you and wouldn't have brought into that whole BS of shaming the family name."
Jeez.
That's another great layer. The family name's not even your name, Pops.
Yeah. What are you so ashamed of?
The only time I'd ever seen Jean in a mood like this was when I was in college, and when she introduced herself to the class, she looked square at me and made it clear that she had no favorites. All of this has really made me look at my parents in a different way. And none of it's positive. It just reaffirms what I want even more, which is for them to just go away and never come back.
Wow.
And that is the end of that story.
Yeah. Just more of the same, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, you truly do not need those people
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
0%.
I accidentally ruined Mother's Day for my in-laws because I couldn't keep quiet.
You just had to be a little church mouse.
I, 38 female, have been married to my husband, 41 male, for 7 years this coming June, and we have been together for 9 years total. We have 2 children, twin boys who are 5 months old. This is not easy for me to write, but I need to get it all out.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
By the way, this comes from Inside Ingenuity 676, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Dakota.
And I'm Vincent, and that's Carly.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, 2 weeks before Mother's Day, I found out my husband had been cheating on me for at least 7 months.
Happy Mother's Day!
Ouch. I used his phone to order lawn chairs on the Lowe's app since it's tied to our card and I wanted to use our rewards. While I was looking for the set I wanted, he received a Snapchat notification from a woman. I didn't even know he had Snapchat. So it caught my attention. At the time, my husband was outside mowing the grass. I opened the snap and it was a spicy pic of a woman who looked to be in her mid-20s with the caption,
Ew.
with a gross caption. That's
She's
what
like,
I'll say.
"Hey, I missed it when we were bumping uglies the other day." Just like a caption that just says, "Yeah, we have made relations with one another and I'd like to do it again."
My jaw hit the floor. I started going through his text messages, but there were no conversations with other women there, only harmless messages from employees at his dermatology practice. That made my stomach sink even more. I checked his Snapchat and saw no chat history with her, which I assume is because he deletes everything. Well, it deletes itself. That's why people use Snapchat. I am not familiar with Snapchat, so I Googled how it works while trying to see if deleted messages could be recovered. I did not want to waste the short time I had while he was still mowing, so I gave up. I did scroll through his friends list and ended up taking photos of it with my phone. I continued checking his apps and everything seemed normal until I found a secure folder. It required a password, and after trying a few, I figured it out. The passcode was the date of our first date, which felt especially cruel. That is insane.
Yeah.
To put the date of your first date, like your anniversary date, as the password to your hidden cheating folder. Inside, there were dozens of spicy photos of at least 3 women, including the woman from Snapchat. I recognized her immediately because she has a very distinct tattoo on her stomach. Along with the photos, there were 2 videos of that same woman doing spicy stuff with him. My heart felt like it was going to explode out of my chest. I started shaking and crying uncontrollably. I forced myself to breathe, grabbed my phone, and started taking pictures of everything. I recorded short clips of the videos because I could not bring myself to watch them fully. I went through his phone again and realized he might have hidden apps. I Googled how to find hidden apps on Android and followed the steps. 3 apps were hidden, 2 messaging apps, and a hookup app called Adult Friend Finder. Sorry. A hookup app called Adult Friend Finder?
Maybe that's just harmless. Maybe he's just looking for friends who are adults.
I debated opening them because I was terrified of what I would see, but I needed to know. He had been messaging at least 4 different women, including the woman from the videos. I found proof that he had spicy sleep with at least 2 of them. All of the messages made me sick, but the ones from the video woman shattered me completely.
Not the video woman.
Not the video.
Oh,
I had to stop and throw up from the stress and anxiety. That's terrible.
yeah, I'd be disappearing.
Oh, this
You know
is
what I
so
mean?
awful. Some of the messages that hurt me the most were burned into my mind. She asked him to tell her how much better her body was than mine. And he did. She sent a spicy pic and asked how her body compared to mine. And he told her there was no comparison and called her a goddess. Reading those words broke something in me. I had just given birth to twins 5 months earlier. I was already incredibly insecure about my body, my weight, and my C-section scar. I was about 25 pounds heavier than before pregnancy. My husband and I stopped having spicy sleep about 2 months before I gave birth because it was painful for me, which lines up with when he started messaging these women. Since the twins were born, we had only had spicy sleep about 3 times due to my exhaustion and insecurity while caring for and breastfeeding them. I took photos of everything I found. The earliest messages were from 7 months earlier, which means this started while I was pregnant.
The good old classic.
This guy is terrible.
Let's throw him in the pit.
I also discovered that the night after my C-section, while our premature twins were in the NICU, he met the video woman at her apartment. He told me he was getting food and checking on his office. Anything could have happened to our babies, and he would not have been there. I closed all the apps, made sure the hidden ones were hidden again, and put his phone back exactly where I found it. I cleared the Snapchat notification and hoped he would not notice. Then I called my best friend of over 33 years, who was also my business partner. I told him everything and completely fell apart. He helped me calm down and told me not to confront my husband yet. He advised me to speak with divorce lawyers immediately and to meet with the best ones so they could not represent my husband. He also offered me and the twins a place to stay, saying his husband would be happy to have us. His support kept me standing. Over the next week, my best friend helped me with the twins while I met with 5 divorce lawyers. I hired the one I felt was the best. She advised me not to leave the family home, so I stayed. She immediately started the divorce paperwork while I pretended nothing was wrong and tried to keep everything normal. Mother's Day arrived, and my husband made me breakfast in bed. He gave me expensive jewelry, flowers, and made a big show of it. I could not enjoy any of it because it felt fake. Well, it is. But I pretended to be happy. That afternoon, my husband's father hosted a cookout for Mother's Day. Everyone attending had a baby under a year old, so it was everyone's first Mother's Day except my mother-in-law. I told my husband I didn't feel like going, but he guilted me by saying his dad had a big surprise for me. I reluctantly agreed and asked if my best friend could come since his mother passed away the year before. My father-in-law said yes. I planned to act like nothing was wrong and focus on my twins. I am closest to my sister-in-law, Julie, who introduced me to my husband 10 years ago. At first, the day was actually nice. My husband and the men cooked, the women held the babies, and my best friend helped in the kitchen so the moms could relax. After we ate, my mother-in-law started taking pictures. She told my husband to sit next to me and put his arm around me. She jokingly said, "Pretend like you love her."
Nah, you've done, the only one who ruined Mother's Day is your terrible husband. And yeah, like, I would struggle to hold it together for any amount of time.
Minutes. Yeah, that's...
But then with that being said,
Ooh.
nah, it's over.
I'm sobbing.
It's over.
And I completely broke down. I started sobbing uncontrollably. My in-laws hugged me, and my best friend stood by my side. My father-in-law asked what was wrong. I looked at my best friend, and he gave me a look that said, or I could tell if I wanted. I told him that my husband has been cheating on me for at least 7 months. My husband immediately denied it, saying it wasn't true and that we were his whole world. I told them about the messages, photos, videos, and apps. He looked faint and sat down. After a long silence, Julie asked him why. And he claimed he only talked to women and never physically cheated. But she just said, I've got messages, videos. What did you think the videos were of? What did you think the videos were of?
I'd like to see him go, yeah.
You got me.
No, I did.
I did all that stuff.
Instead of the, no, it was this. No, it was that. No, it was this. And then, yeah, I did. Just say it.
Just say it.
Just do it.
You've already been caught.
They've been caught red-handed.
Yeah.
I had a weird one, though, where one time I accused someone of it, and they fully just went, yeah. And I went, okay, why? And they went, I don't know.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't know what to do there either. My best friend called him a liar. I showed messages and explained everything, including the videos. My husband kept denying it, even claiming that messages about spicy sleep were just role-playing. When Julie's husband grabbed his phone to look, my husband snatched it back. At that point, my mother-in-law, Julie, and Fran were crying. My brother-in-law, Chris, started yelling at me, saying I ruined Mother's Day, and that this was not the time or place. I'm sorry. Did OP breaking down and crying seem like she meant to bring this up on Mother's Day? Maybe we should have a little bit of tact and realize, oh, the guy that cheated on her for 7 months on his pregnant wife. Maybe that's the person I should be blaming for ruining Mother's Day.
I can't blame him. He's my brother.
Julie defended me and said my husband ruined it. Fran agreed with Chris and said I was wrong for bringing it up. By the way, I'm going to bring up that you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There's a little bit left to this, but truly insane to see your sister-in-law sobbing uncontrollably and be like, how dare you bring this up at Mother's Day?
Just be like, oh, here she goes again.
Always sobbing uncontrollably, this girl.
It's always about me with this one, isn't it? Ay.
Both of my twins started crying and I needed to leave. I asked my best friend to take me home and we moved the car seats. Outside, my mother-in-law told me I should have kept it to myself and that future Mother's Days would now be tainted. I ignored her and left. My husband stayed at his parents' house for 2 nights. My father-in-law later told me I did not ruin Mother's Day. My husband did. He said he understood why I broke down. He admitted that some family members were still angry with me, but he believed they would get over it. I still feel horrible and guilty for letting everything come out that day. I keep replaying it over and over in my head. Am I the a-hole? No. You literally were keeping it in, and then you just broke down. It happens. It happens.
Not
Yeah.
an a-hole for a second. I wouldn't have even gone. I would have been like,
Yeah.
oh
Well, she
yeah,
didn't
I don't
wanna
know. I
go.
can't. I
He
can't do it.
guilt tripped her into going.
No, I would have just been like, I'm ill. I'm physically ill. I can't do it.
Yeah. No.
I can't even. I can't pretend. Can't pretend to
Yeah.
love you and be around you and your whole family when I know this
Yeah.
stuff.
My girlfriend's dad told me to forget about her or he'd cut ties.
He wants to date you instead.
I met my girlfriend when I was in my senior year in college. She was a junior back then. We have been dating for 3 years now. I'm Asian and she's white. To say I don't deserve her would be an understatement. She's the most beautiful and the smartest girl I know, and she comes from a pretty wealthy family. By the way, this comes from user deleted. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Keon,
I'm Carly.
and we're here to give good advice goofily. But guess what, guys? We only know what we do. So let us know what you do in the comments. Please. As OP says, I'm not particularly handsome or attractive, not extremely smart. Just because we both went to an Ivy League college doesn't mean crap. Excuse me? What?
I'm really not that smart, but I went to the Ivy, you know.
I'm in an Ivy League college.
You know.
One of the top schools in the U.S. It just means I have slightly above average IQ, but I decided to work harder than most other high schoolers. And our family is not very rich either. We aren't poor. My parents were able to help me pay for college, and I only had to take a few thousand in student loans. But we are certainly not as wealthy as her family. I really love her, and I try to be the best boyfriend I can be. Unfortunately, her entire family is biased except for her and her brother, who is one of my best friends. Every time we go to one of the family gatherings, there are biased comments tossed around. It's against everyone who isn't, drumroll please, white.
Who would have seen that coming?
Oh boy. I'm the only one there who is not white. I don't know if they are trying to insult me intentionally, but it not only annoys me on a personal level, but I also think in general, they're just being such a-holes. But I try to be as nice as possible because I don't want to let this ruin our relationship. But her family members still all dislike me. So, yesterday, her dad texted me. I knew that my girlfriend's parents know my number, but it's still strange because her dad doesn't like me at all, and we have really never had a one-on-one conversation. But anyway, he sent me a few texts saying, "This relationship has gone far enough." And to sum things up, he said that if I didn't break up with my girlfriend, he would disown her and her entire family would cut her off.
It's insane.
Okay, wow. And then he said if I really loved her, I would know that her family was more important to her and stuff like that. I have no idea why he decided to say this now and not like 3 years ago when we first started dating.
It's like, it's serious now, actually.
I can tell 3 years in, you're not giving up. I haven't talked with my girlfriend yet because I don't really know how to tell her about this. I know she loves her family and I don't want to hurt her relationship with them. But I also don't want to hurt her by just breaking up with her without telling her why. I really need some advice here. How do I tell her about this situation? Even if we do end up breaking up, I want to do what makes her happy in the long run. Dude, tell her. She's also a grown woman. She can make her choice. Obviously, this is pretty difficult, but we've seen this in so many movies.
Yeah, like, you can't... This is one of the ones where I feel like you shouldn't just be deciding this, like, alone and for your partner. Like, you can give them all the info and let them do what they will kind of thing. But, like, she needs to know that this was said. And you can't just be like, oh, yeah, I'm breaking up with you for no reason at all.
Yeah.
Like, lay out what the things are. Kind of be like, listen, I'll step back if this is what you want. But then if she's like, nah, screw them, I want to date you, then
Yeah.
go for you.
We do have an update. So, first of all, I want to apologize for not updating until today. Yesterday, I checked the first 30 or so comments, and they all said, show her the text. I have a job as a tech lead, and we had like 4 meetings in a row yesterday. I couldn't really zone out to check Reddit. And afterwards, I was pretty tired, so my lazy butt decided not to update until today. I never expected it to blow up so much. Today, I woke up and I saw like 2,000 comments and 22 to 23,000 upvotes. And I was pretty blown away, so sorry for not responding to anything. So, I texted my girlfriend yesterday and sent her a screenshot of what her dad sent me. She said she needed some time to think, and I just told her I love her and I'd respect her decision either way. So, I guess all that's left to do is wait. So now I guess I will respond to the general categories of comments and or questions. Show her the text. Done. You're taking away from her right to decide as a grown adult woman. You're being misogynistic. You need more communication and trust in a relationship. Opie responds with, that was kind of eye-opening for me. Her dad's texts were all completely directed at me. Like, you need to make this decision. It's your fault. All of you kind of stuck me in the mindset where it really was my decision only. I don't know. I guess I was just being dumb as usual. Lesson learned, though. Thanks. Another question here. Why didn't she stand up for you at her family gatherings? Why did she take you in the first place? Opie responds with, well, I've never really thought about this stuff before, but as far as I can remember, they only say that crap when she's not in the room. They have a pretty big house, so she sometimes goes to talk with her other relatives in other rooms. And that's when it starts. I didn't think it would be good if I just followed her like a little puppy everywhere she went, so I generally tend to stay in the same room. Also, my friend almost never shows up to those gatherings for some reason. Maybe it's connected to this, maybe it's not. I've never really brought it up to her and straight up said that it pisses me off a little. I don't know, maybe I should have. I just didn't want her to think I'm a huge crybaby about it. It didn't really feel targeted towards me because they were just against everyone in general. That doesn't make it better. And I just happened to be included in one of those categories. Delete the text and don't tell her anything. I don't think that's a good idea. Maybe they're not lying. By the way, I'm not lying to you when I say check out more episodes of full stories just like this. Go to your favorite podcast app such as Spotify, Apple Podcast, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There is a little bit left. Opie, you need to be honest with your girlfriend. Well, this should have been brought up a long time ago. I don't know how you went through with this with 3 years, or you didn't show any signs of, I don't want to see your parents, or like your parents kind of hate me, or vice versa, of her saying, my parents don't like you. Like, let's talk about this. Has that been an elephant in the room this entire time of your relationship?
Yeah, because he pointed out that her and her brother are like
Cool, yeah, they
the
like
cool
him.
ones.
Yeah, they like
so I
him.
feel like they must have acknowledged
Of something.
that her parents and family are not
Or
cool,
something with her
right?
relatives, with like
she knows her family's racist, right? Her rich, wealthy white family, she knows, right?
Yeah, what's going on here? We're like, is this Get Out? Are we get outing right now?
I hope.
I hope not too. Let's finish up the story. Reverse Crazy Rich Asians on them. Yeah.
That's
That's what got me. Yeah, I was like, that's pretty funny. I have heard of that movie, but never watched it. Is it any good? Brother, you're Asian. What happened to Asian representation, my guy? Yeah, I'm not even like Singaporean or Chinese, but it's very funny to watch that movie. Yeah, watch it. Never been a big movie guy. I always just play PC games. The only time I watch movies is with my girlfriend. Please update. I didn't feel like this update warranted a new post. And that's the end of that story.
No!
That's it?
This has to be recent then.
Yeah. Well,
my
hopefully there is an
God.
update. OP, go watch some films. 1. 2, I think you need to be upfront and honest with your girlfriend. You shouldn't hesitate
Yeah.
to, not necessarily hurt their feelings, but tell the truth of her family against you. If it's her or a future partner, you shouldn't hold back and be like, oh, it's all happy-go-lucky. Everything's A1. Everything's 100%.
Right.
This should have been brought up the first time you met her parents.
My wife tried to insist a bond between our daughter and her niece. It wasn't working.
You cannot force that to happen.
My wife has 2 sisters and is close to both. Their mom passed away when they were young, so they bonded over the loss and became very close. By the way, this comes from user Close Cousins. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Savannah.
We're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't know everything. We only know what we know. So let us know what you know down in the comments. We have 2 kids, Chris, 16 male, and Kaylee, 13 female. My wife's oldest sister also has 2 kids, Owen, 17 male, and Emma, 16 female. They live about 5 minutes from us, and our kids attend the same school. They have always hung out as a group of 3. My Chris and their Emma are a week apart in age, and Owen is only a little over a year older, so they grew up together and used to call themselves triplets. They are still quite close. My wife's younger sister has a daughter, Gia, who is 3 months older than mine. The younger sister always made comments when our girls were babies about how she can't wait until they are the ages of the big kids, meaning Chris, Owen, and Emma, because they'll be just as close. Problem is that Kaylee, my 13-year-old, doesn't like hanging out with Gia, and it's becoming more obvious as they get older that they are two different kinds of people. Kaylee likes soccer and video games. Gia isn't allowed to play video games and isn't interested in sports. Kaylee is a social butterfly and Gia is a homebody. All of this was manageable, but Gia also has some more immature interests. She still enjoys playing with dolls and engages in pretend play. For example, when Kaylee goes over to their house to sleep over, she says Gia likes playing school or mommies. Playing school means they set up all the stuffed animals and pretend to teach them. Mommies is when they play with the baby dolls and pretend to be mommies. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. What's wrong with being a mom? Huh? What's wrong with being a little lady?
What's wrong with pretending to be a little lady when you're 13?
Well, I've always wanted to be a little lady, and look where it got me.
I have nothing against pretend to play, and I think it's nice that Gia doesn't feel pressured to grow up too fast, but it's clear that Kaylee and her are on different wavelengths. Now that things are opening back up, Gia's mom said she can't wait to have Kaylee over. Kaylee said she doesn't want to sleep over at Gia's. She said she'll still interact with Gia at family events, but doesn't want to sleep over there anymore or go over to play. This upset my wife a lot. She said Kaylee doesn't get a say. Later that night, I told my wife I sided with Kaylee. I don't think she should be forced to hang out with Gia. My wife flipped and said that I'm an only child, so I will never understand her family values and how this isn't up for discussion. I told her that wasn't fair. Kaylee should get a say, and she said that you don't get a say when it comes to family. We argued for a while before I told her that we would be having this discussion later, and she didn't talk to me for the rest of the night. Was I the a-hole? I haven't brought it up again, but plan to unless I am totally in the wrong. So, and there's an edit here. There's some more edits here. Before we get into that, you can't force it. You just can't do it.
It's just like, I mean, it's kind of like forcing friendships, you know, with people who just who aren't compatible. Like, you just, like, don't. Like, a lot of my friends, like, in my friend group, like, a lot of them didn't get along with each other, but they all got along with me. I was, like, the glue that held them all together. And then I would have to hang out with them separately, which was really annoying because we used to all hang out, and then it just, like, formed into separate things for no reason at all. But, like, people just don't mesh, and that's okay.
Yeah, man. And it's like, if you were forced to hang out with the people you didn't like,
God,
would you then like them more?
I would not. I would hate my life.
Yeah, you would like them less. So there's an edit. I thought I made this clear, but I will say it again for the folks in the back because of the comments I'm getting. Kaylee is not interested in hanging out with Gia other than for full family events. For example, we normally have dinner with my wife's sisters and dad every Sunday. Kaylee's fine hanging out with Gia then, but doesn't want to beyond that. And there's more info here. Other than her immature interests, Gia is a very normal 13-year-old girl. Gia does cry when she doesn't get her way, and that's another reason Kaylee is no longer enjoying playing with her cousin. I wouldn't say it's tantrum behavior. Her mom and my wife think it's just hormones and normal, but she locks herself in the bathroom until she pulls herself together. I should have mentioned that earlier, but my wife and her sisters think it's normal teen girl stuff. I mean...
I didn't do that when I was 13, I feel. But, I don't know, everyone does different things.
I mean, like, is it normal teen girl stuff for them to be crazy? Yes.
Yes, for their hormones to be, like, everywhere, yeah.
Yeah, for you to look at the
Definitely.
13-year-old girl and be like, none of that made any sense to me, and
for
she
them-
seems to be kind of freaking out.
For them to literally be like, oh, I'm having such a good time, and then be like, I hate the world! That is normal teenager.
Yeah, so it's kind of normal. But keep an eye on that, probably. I am not a parent. Last summer, more information here, Gia and Kaylee hung out about 4 to 5 days a week. Now, this was normal for Chris, Emma, and Owen when they were 12 and 13. I would say they were over more often than that, actually, and had sleepovers most nights. They have a lot of the same friends since they go to the same school and play some of the same sports. My wife and younger sister are trying to recreate this with Kaylee and Gia, but Kaylee doesn't want it. Again, she is okay with the weekly dinners, but doesn't want the one-on-one play dates and sleepovers with Gia. I'm getting a lot of heat over the word immature. All I meant by that is Kaylee, who stopped playing mommies a long time ago, sees it as immature. If Kaylee suggests another game, then Gia cries and locks herself in the bathroom. To me, that is childlike behavior, but I do not think any less of Gia because of this. I don't dislike her. I love her like she is my own blood. I am very sorry for hurting people with the use of the word immature, and there is an update. And I would say the people hurt by that word are immature.
Got him.
I talked to my wife about everything and she agreed. She overreacted. She said that after her mom passed away, she felt like it was her job to hold the family together. Very understandable. She is the middle child, so she felt like she was the link between her two sisters. Their dad stressed to them how much they needed to stick together, and that is where the weekly family dinners started. It was a way to bring everyone together. When my wife got pregnant with our son Chris, at the same time her older sister got pregnant with her daughter Emma, my wife said it felt like fate, especially since her older sister's son Owen would only be a little more than a year older than both kids. My wife said watching all three of them bond like they did made her proud because she knew it's what her mom would want. Even now, the kids are close. My son slept over at their house last night. They play some school sports together, have classes together, share some friends, and sit at the same lunch table. When we found out we were having Kaylee only a few months after Gia was born, my wife and her sister imagined the girls growing up together the same way their older three did. For a while they did, but now that they are growing apart, it has been hard on both my wife and her younger sister. When the older three were in middle school, they hung out every day in the summer, but that was by choice and usually with a larger common friend group. I explained to my wife that this is different because we would be forcing Kaylee to miss out on time with her friends to spend with her cousin multiple times a week, even though they have virtually nothing in common. I love that you explained to your wife how friends work.
Sometimes they don't get it until you say it out loud.
Yeah, I mean, but then, there's a lot of complicated stuff going on underneath, the surface there.
I mean, yeah. I feel bad, like, for the whole, like, for the girl at least. But also, like, Gia, the little one, I feel bad for her, but also, like, I don't know, you're 13, and I don't know. I feel like she can do some growing up, but also she's 13. So it's like, I don't know. But ultimately, I don't think that you need to, like, hang out with someone if you don't want to hang out with them.
No, yeah. And there's no saying that they won't be, closer in the future. It's just in this moment.
Yeah.
They don't line up. And it does sound like Gia's got something to work through in terms of her reactions and behaviors and feelings. But, But, did you know you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this on your favorite podcast platform? I bet you did. I bet you knew you could go to iHeartRadio or Spotify or Apple Podcasts and search OK Storytime and find our entire archive there for you to listen to. I bet you did know that. And if you didn't, now you do. But we do have a little bit more story here. Let's give it a nice gander. Let's finish it. My wife apologized to Kaylee and talked to her sister about giving the girls some time apart. We'll still see them once a week for Sunday dinners, but we aren't going to force it. My wife's sister was upset because Kaylee is Gia's only friend, but said she will just have to spend more time with Gia to make her feel special. My wife and I feel bad, but we want to make sure our daughter knows that she has the right to say no and have that be respected if she isn't comfortable with the situation, even when it's family. And that is the end of that story. Indeed,
Clap,
claps
clap.
all around. Clap, clap.
Clap, clap.
My in-laws dislike me, and I'm trapped with them.
In a cage?
Good morning. I am a long-term watcher of OK Storytime. I'm always amused and find so much of it relatable. So I thought it was about time I shared the wild ride with my in-laws. I, 39 female, have been with my husband, 36 male, nearly 15 years. We'll call him John. By the way, this comes from product key 4622, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I am Dakota.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do, so let us know what you would do in the comment. And OP says, so I met hubby some years ago, and we were long distance. He was just out of high school, 19 years old, and whew, we were babies. And I was out of college, 22. It felt more scandalous than it was. Anyway, after dating for a couple of months, 2,000 miles apart, we both decided we wanted to give it a real shot. I sold my car, quit my job, packed 2 bags, and flew across the country. It was scary, but he was worth it. And clearly he is still many years later. Now, he was 19, and he kind of fibbed when he said father-in-law, 65-ish, knew I existed, and it was okay for me to move in. Turns out he didn't, and it was a surprise. The one good thing father-in-law ever did, in my opinion, was roll with it. I flew in, Hubs told father-in-law I was coming, and they both came to pick me up. On the ride to the new home, I got a quick and very telling red flag within the first 5 minutes. I was very independent up to this point, working full-time with my own space and everything before leaving, so I wasn't used to being told what for by a man. Father-in-law was driving and let me know, this is how this works. You'll cook, clean, and take care of my son or anything else I say. You don't get to have a say. I almost took the next flight home. I probably should have and had Hubs move back to my state instead, but alas, I was willing to overlook it at the time, I suppose. Anyway, from day one, I was enemy number 1. Father-in-law didn't like me at all. I went out of my way to be kind, helpful, calm, and non-combative. I'm very assertive by nature, but it didn't matter. Brother-in-law, 34 male, also disliked me massively because I stole his brother. Their sister, my sister-in-law Beth, 33 female, wasn't around much, but when she was home, she also made it clear that she doesn't like me. Now, I wanted out. I considered it if I didn't love that man so much, and he was good to me, even though he was controlled by his evil father-in-law as well. We also lived like 45 minutes away from any civilization, literally nowhere, so I couldn't even get a job if I tried. No internet because it wasn't serviced out there. And father-in-law sold hubby's car within the first 3 months to pay for bills. Stuck. So we existed in limbo for a long time. I felt compelled to deal with what was thrown at me because I had no way to leave, no job, and couldn't find one. And I lived in his house now. Our room was in the garage, which doesn't sound great at first, but it was like a little haven from the rest of the house. I made that tiny space into a home. We ended up pregnant in 2011, much to my surprise, with my PCOS and such, and we had a girl. Father-in-law was very good to my daughter, if not me, so at least there was that. Things got worse over time, though. Some notes for those first few years, because writing them all out would be endless. Father-in-law's girlfriend stole all my vegetables that my own dad sent me when I was pregnant with gestational diabetes, citing I was a selfish POS for having anything to myself. I was forbidden from then on to get even vegetables without giving them to his girlfriend first. Father-in-law tried on multiple occasions to break us up, and I was the only one required to clean, including brother-in-law's filthy room and vomit-filled adult soda bottles. Father-in-law never got trash service, so we had a legit mountain of trash at the bottom of the hill with pests and mice they would take to the dump once every 2 months. We ran out of water from the well. We did get a cheap car that father-in-law put in my name about 2 years in, after he got his huge truck repoed, and also put the insurance only in my name so that they could all drive around and throw me under the bus if they got in trouble. They weren't on the insurance against the law. Brother-in-law took the only car, mine, to joyride and disappear for days when I was nearly due and couldn't get to the hospital, when I was having complications around 39 weeks and wouldn't respond to calls or texts. Mother-in-law, who we don't reference often, was enraged I didn't name my baby after her. Literally cut us off for that. Father-in-law blew through all the money he would make, meaning stability was not a thing. I was eventually on EBT and cash aid for my little family, which he would get mad at me if I wouldn't support everyone in the house on it, so $600 a month was supposed to feed us plus 4 others. I eventually managed to stand up to him on that because of the baby, despite his rage. So we didn't have much, but baby was never hungry or dirty. Brother-in-law met a girl in 2012. She moved in within the first 2 weeks of dating and was pregnant a week later. Sister-in-law Anne, 34 female, was a waifish-looking, self-centered, horrible person. Therefore, father-in-law approved because they're almost the same. She's diagnosed with schizophrenia, unmedicated, and refuses to admit it's a thing, and has severe NPD. From the moment she moved in, if possible, it was worse. No.
Yeah, I mean, now
Worse?
you've got... That doesn't sound like she's going to make anything better.
Oh, lordy, lord. I really can't wait for you guys to move out. I really hope the story ends with, like, and I've been out of that house for 15 years.
I think it has to, because they didn't even have internet up there. They were just living on off the
grid.
off the mice that lived in the trash at the bottom of the hill.
True dat.
They would catch them with nets.
Anne wanted my hubby, claiming many times she got the wrong brother to my face and claimed hubby wasn't lucky enough to get her. She had a son and acted like she was a godsend for that, because I'll have the first grandson. Like I cared. She was enraged I got pregnant with the son next, claiming I did it on purpose and only got pregnant out of jealousy. She was also mad I named my son after his father, so she had to do the same thing with her fourth child, a version of dad's name in girl form. How petty. She made literally everything a competition between us, no matter what it was. She peed in my shampoo bottle as revenge once. She even stole my ID when it came in the mail. She slandered me to everyone in the family when she didn't like the way something went. A lot of those lies are still believed today. Later on, we both got pregnant again with girls. Tragically, she was pregnant first again, which meant another round of, "You did it on purpose." Anyway, after my son was born, we finally moved out. Hubby was going to school full-time, which was really our way out of all this. Well, when I say we moved out, it was because the house went into foreclosure since father-in-law gambled so much everything went under. He picked a shack out and rented it for us a block from his new place, new girlfriend's house, and living on her. Put our names on it and everything, which I still don't know how that even happened.
How is he legally putting your name
Multiple times
on things you aren't approving?
That's
like,
crazy. That's crazy. How's he doing that?
This is crazy.
He knew the old landlady his whole life or something. He used it as a way to control us, my hubby specifically, who had been working for his dad as well as going to school, small business at this point, as a way to make ends meet. Father-in-law liked it that way because he would withhold pay if he didn't like something we were doing or not doing. When hubby would travel for work, happened like once a month, father-in-law would come over. He had a key, I had no say. And take showers in my house, walk around in his towel, and try to menace me.
Like, but you have, it's your name on the property?
I'm changing the locks. If your name's on that property, I'm changing the locks.
But it's like, also, why are we just not moving away?
Yeah.
I would much rather stay in a car with my whole family than be in this situation. Like, I would rather swing that.
I mean, you don't want the kids.
I don't even care with the kids.
What?
It's the kids better to be in that situation. I don't trust these people.
I mean, I don't know. I
One of them
disagree
is
with
so
that.
severely mentally ill, I
Yes.
wouldn't trust that she wouldn't, like, take my kids and, like, leave them in the woods. Like,
Yeah.
like
I mean, at
I'm
this
not,
point-
I'm so far away from all these people.
I would
so
try
fast.
I would try to get out of there, but I
I'm
also
taking
understand.
the car with my name on it,
Yeah, I
and I'm
understand
gone.
OP. I understand OP's desire to give the kids a roof over their head because that is important. But yeah, this is a terrible situation.
Cars got roofs.
That they have
Last time
4
I checked,
kids.
I don't think you guys have a convertible.
They have 4 kids.
Hey, the 2 kids.
No, they don't. They at least have 3 kids now.
Well, I would have scramoosed with the first one.
We were behind on rent. Hubby was already having money withheld at this point, and father-in-law demanded I give him my daughter to take her to some Easter event 2 hours away. I told him no, in no uncertain terms, because despite everything else I dealt with, my kids are not pawns, and I will mama bear with them to the end of the world. He was infuriated and refused to pay Hubs in retribution, telling us to go homeless instead, and he meant it. Whew. Mind you, we have been trying to find other work for months. Hubby going to school, we were trying but drowning. Red Cross and other charities are a godsend, I'll tell you. But enough was enough. We were going to be possibly homeless, but I would not allow him to use my children for his games ever. They are my world, and I will not allow them to be blackmail. So we did everything we could. Hubs took other random jobs from friends they luckily had for him to do, would still end up out of town. Changed the locks, you name it. Father-in-law would stand outside when hubby was gone, screaming at the house the worst obscenities in earshot of my kids, who I would take to the farthest room so they hopefully couldn't hear it. Because our choices were running out, hubby decided to join the military. The best decision we could ever make. I will be eternally thankful for what the military did for our family, no matter the trials that brought on over the years. We packed up our life and left. We cut them off. Stupidly, I would let Anne convince me to let her be in my life, on and off, the last decade. I don't know. NPD is a mean thing to deal with, and she's an amazing liar, though no more. We have been stable, happy, and away from them all for 10 years now. That third baby came right at the beginning of his enlistment, which was fun, because being pregnant during his old basic training and AIT training while we were separated. And fourth baby, girl, came a year and a half later. Oops.
Honestly, learn what are you doing? I'm sorry. No more oopsies.
Well, I think
girl.
they're figuring it out now.
Come on.
I think they're in a better state right now.
Come on.
I don't think OP is regretful of it.
Everybody needs to know what condoms are.
Now, since all that, our life has turned 180 around. Hubby is healed and whole from his own horrible trauma. I am healed and strong now. I take no bull at all. Last I've heard, things are the same as always with the in-laws. We haven't spoken a word to father-in-law since we left. Not once. Oh, and in the universe has a sense of humor sort of way. My fourth was born on father-in-law's birthday, and it apparently rips him up every year because he's never met her and never will. Since leaving, Anne has another baby and is currently pregnant with number 5, who may or may not be brother-in-law's. We are certain she cheated. STD check positive for her and negative for him. Plus, there were receipts. Brother-in-law has become a better man, and the brothers now have a decent relationship, and he apologized sincerely to me for all his heinous behavior over the years.
I'll certainly tell you what, none of them receipts had condoms on them.
Yeah. By the way, I'll certainly tell you that you can listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There is a little bit left to the story, but I am so glad that you are out of that situation and that you got your kids out of that situation. You are seemingly doing much better now. Yeah. Oof. Anyone out there in a similar situation where they're like living with terrible people, really, really, it's always the answer is get out when you can. Get out when you can. Yeah.
Might not be ever a perfect moment. You just got to get out of there, and they'll make it easier. There's places you can go, like shelters.
There's shelters.
It just like I mean it. Like 3 kids, probably too much to leave in the car. But like me, husband, wife, 1 kid, I would pick the car over living with all those people who are treating you so terribly, and one of which is like. I don't know, or 2 of which, I wouldn't trust those people with my safety.
No. Yeah, I mean, the fact that he's basically breaking into your home. Very, very terrifying. But OP finishes. Sister-in-law Beth had 3 kids. She's lost custody of her kids now, which are in father-in-law's care. Father-in-law cheated on his girlfriend, got kicked out from his home after we left, then moved into a literal shed for a while, and he's taking care of those kids. He got arrested taking stuff over the state line. He's living with his mom and sister, also trash people, on Beth's land. They all still hate me and claim I'm the worst thing to ever happen to the family. Wild. It's been a long road, and the stories could go on, but I don't have enough space here to tell it all. This is a very short version. Right now, we're getting done with military time and have an amazing job waiting for us. We have happy, loved kids, massive healthy boundaries, and the best future ahead of us. Still. Kind of wish I had like 600 more pages. I won't even start with my family. But let's just say it's about all the same. Ciao.
I think you should write a book.
Yeah.
You should write a book about that.
About how awful your collective families are.
That was wild.
My sister is becoming just like our father, and that's not a good thing.
Is becoming your mother a good thing?
So, a situation I am going through right now has been happening for more than 3, almost 4 years, starting around the tail end of the pandemic in 2023. For context, after I graduated with my bachelor's degree in graphic design, I got a temporary job at Tesco. I'm in the UK. I was working as a personal shopper for just over a year. And by the way, this comes from user Riverloo, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Keon.
And I'm Vincent.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so let us know what you would do down in the comments. And OP says, from the very first day of my employment, my Asian narcissistic father constantly pushed me to work elsewhere, telling me to apply for this job and this job and this job and this job. He kept sending different job openings nonstop to the point that I eventually gave up on applying or even interacting with them due to the sheer amount of rejections and scam companies. The issue was that these were basically the jobs he wanted me to do, ones that would benefit him or the family in some way. One of them was even becoming an air hostess. Like, what? Not saying being an air hostess is a bad thing. It was just not for me at all. Anything I wanted to do was immediately shut down, just like how he constantly put me down for literally everything I did, because to him, it was not sustainable for your future. Honestly, I can understand the not sustainable for your future concern to an extent, but it was not the path I wanted to take with my life. It went even further than that. When I turned 20, which was 7 years ago, he had full control over my life. That included deciding which university I went to so I could be closer to home, so we can visit whenever, and choosing where I would intern so that he could visit those places and get free boarding. Most of these internships were meant to be in China or Southeast Asia. Luckily, the pandemic happened, which stopped that, but it also completely messed me over because of restrictions. I was originally planning to intern at a design company in Amsterdam, which never ended up happening. A few months after he passed away on the 19th of October 2024, my sister, who is 29, started taking his place. She did not just repeat the same behaviors my late father had, but essentially molded herself into who she was as a person. She became self-centered, self-inserting, egotistical, narcissistic, and controlling. I am not surprised, considering she is the golden child and the clear favorite of our parents. She is now doing exactly what our late father did for years, trying to control my life and my career, which is pissing me the F off. The funny thing is, I actually have a job. I work in illustration. Sure, it doesn't pay much, but I enjoy what I do and I work at my own pace. She thinks she's helping me, even though I never asked for her help, ever. It honestly feels pathetic. On top of that, I do not ever want to work for someone else and become just another cog in a capitalistic society. And there are some comments, and boy, oh boy, do I have some thoughts.
Yeah, I think, one, when losing someone close to you, a parent, sibling, whomever, friend, sometimes you try to fill that gap, and I think that's what your sister's doing. She's trying to take on that role. I don't think she's willingly doing that, or in a sense, I don't know. I think she's like, I have to be that person now. I have to be dad now. Which, have you had that conversation with your sister? Like, hey, you don't need to do that with me. Like, I love you kind of thing, but you don't have to, helicopter me or do all this. I'm good. That's about it. Hope you're doing well kind of thing. I don't know. What do you
OP,
have to
I'm
say?
calling you out.
Oh.
I'm calling you out, OP, because I see it. You're an artist. Pops didn't think it was going to work out. Nobody thinks it's going to work out. Only person who has to think it's going to work out is you.
I think it's going to work out.
Comment 1. If we don't think critically about ourselves and life in general, we're more likely to repeat the behavior we observed as kids than to break the cycle. OP says 100%. Comment 2 says, you living at home? I would move ASAP if I could. Or learn to stand up for yourself and set in those boundaries, because it's not going to end. You're going to have to learn to find your voice and power. You don't have to be mean, just really firm. If I need help, I'll ask you, but I would appreciate it if you backed the F up. LOL, something like that. Sorry, I hope you find a solution that works for you. Comment 3 says, you're just going to need to place that boundary and tell her to go look in the mirror. There's nothing more dangerous than an adult child being the victim to parents, but they don't know it. Not much you can do about it, and condolences to your father. Comment 4 says, the solution to your problem is simple. Tell your sister to F off. She has no power over you, right? And there is an update.
Yeah. And I'm seeing a lot of, it's like a mix, it seems like 50-50, I'm not going to lie. with chat saying 1 and 2. So, I mean, the best thing, OP, is your family the best. Go about it the way you think you should go about it, but you got to do something.
I have never really posted an update before, so here it is. It's been a year and some change since my father passed away. Throughout 2025, I want to say that nothing good really happened. Until the middle of November. I kept myself emotionally distant from my golden child older sister and still had not moved out. My mother, who's also went back to Taiwan for 3 months until February of 2026, which meant I could wait it out and focus on work. My plan was to save more money so I could quietly move out without their knowledge. For the first 2 weeks, I genuinely enjoyed being alone at home because no one else was around. My golden child sister was not there either, as she was in Romania for wedding planning and work. During that time, I had to take care of the house entirely on my own. Unfortunately, a lot of things started going wrong all at once. I had to deal with car problems by myself, although the car is fine now and running properly. I also had to fix a leaky tap in the kitchen, and since I could not fix it myself, I called a plumber to replace old rusted parts, which cost me £120 out of my own pocket. My golden child sister did not even offer to help pay, despite earning more than I do. I took care of the house beyond normal daily chores, like laundry, hoovering, mopping floors, dusting, cleaning the kitchen and bathrooms, and buying groceries. Managing the house honestly felt like a job in itself. I cleaned areas with mold and recaulked certain spots in the kitchen and upstairs bathroom. I fixed the garage door, which had been badly damaged at the bottom, by cutting a panel of wood to cover it temporarily because of termites. I also bought new piping and a new shower head to replace old rusted and limescale clogged ones.
It feels like they knew. Like, all right, we'll leave. He has to deal with the house and pay for all of that.
Yeah.
There's way too much to be like, why wasn't this fixed before? Or like maybe a couple of these things not mentioned before.
Yeah, it seemed like a lot. You're like, I'll just do them all now.
Yeah.
All of this happened within about 5 weeks after my mother went back to Taiwan. During this time, I have been doing less paid work than usual, and I was hoping that would change if my golden child sister finally helped around the house. Spoiler alert, she did not. She does not hoover or clean and literally dumped her newly bought clothes on the living room floor when she got back from a friend's wedding in Penang. I had to pick up after her. She does not cook, do laundry, help dry clothes, or even iron her own clothes. She does not mop the floors, which means she probably tracks debris in from outside. She does not buy groceries and does not even wash her own bowls and utensils after using them, especially in the mornings and afternoons. Most of these tasks take only a few minutes, yet she refuses to do them. By the way, I don't think you want to refuse listening to full episodes of stories just like this one on your favorite podcast platforms like iHeartRadio, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. Just search OK Storytime. And there's a little bit left to this story time. I don't know what it is.
I think, OP, number one thing you need to do is get out of there. Just move out. That should have been, it seems like that's like the initial problem is you staying in this household with both your mother and your sister. And it's going to be a lot quieter when you move out.
But OP can't. Because OP's not making enough money to move out. Because OP, I think, OP, you need to get a job. You made a comment earlier about how you can't have a boss because you'd be a cog in a machine. Hey, I get it, buddy. But you be a cog with identity. You know, having a job that pays you money is a means to an end. You want to get out of this house. You want to further your career as an artist, as an illustrator. You can do that, but you can't do that if you're living at home with these people. And, you know?
It'll drive you insane. Living in this household, you think they're going to change? You think their mindsets are going to change?
Yeah. And like speaking as an aspiring artist myself, you got to make it work, you know? You do what you need to do in order to do your art.
When my sister got flowers on her birthday on the 10th of December, guess who she made arrange them nicely in a vase? Me. After that, she took 2 photos and went back upstairs without helping clean up the leaves I had to cut out because they did not fit. At this point, I have basically become her effing housemaid. The thing is, she used to have her own apartment in London, so she knows how to take care of herself and her space. Now she just chooses not to. She uses her job and wedding planning as excuses to avoid basic adult responsibilities. Everyone else also has jobs, and some even have families, yet they still take the time to clean up after themselves and take care of their homes. She is literally becoming our late father. And that is the end of that story. I think the father passing probably has a lot to do with the energy going on there.
I was left alone to do all the holiday meals, so I retaliated.
As you should, darling.
For holidays, my family usually takes turns hosting, and it's a potluck. We call each other, decide on a menu, where and what time, and decide who brings what. Everyone contributes. Sounds cute. By the way, this comes from user GoldMaryGold649, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Keon.
And I'm Mrs. Claus.
I'm Riley.
And thanks for being here, Mrs. Claus, first and foremost. We
Oh,
appreciate
of
you.
course. I would never miss this for the world.
Amazing. And we're here to give good advice goofily. We don't have all the answers. We only know what we do. So let us know what you do in the comments. Pretty please, do it for Mrs. Claus.
Oh, please do it for me.
Over the years, we bought a house. One sister, we'll call her Alice, not her real name, got divorced, and other family members couldn't host because their homes were too small. So the last couple of years, it has been falling on us and my other sister, we'll call her Carol, not her real name, to host over and over because your houses are better for large gatherings. Okay, for now.
You said that just like Mr. Claus. That was hot.
I have a girlfriend.
I understand that, child.
You're too sweet, like your cookies.
Stop it. I'm going to turn into this background. You will not see me. I'm going to be so red by the end of this.
Phenomenal.
Keon, chill out, man.
I'm just jolly. But a couple years ago, it got too much, just like between me and Mrs. Claus. We all decided on the day, time, and other details as usual. However, Carol called about a week early saying she can't bring any food because I have an important appointment and won't have time to cook. I said, okay. Carol usually cooks a lot of things, so I didn't mind this one time. She honestly couldn't cook. I said, I will take over what you can't make this year, except the vegetarian entree. She made a lentil dish every year. So the time for the meal arrives, and nobody is there. My sister, who can't cook because of an appointment, showed up 30 minutes late and said her appointment had actually been canceled.
Oh, no. Oh, what happened?
Did it just surprisingly cancel like an hour ago? Or like a day ago?
Seems a little sus. That's right. I know that word.
Look at you.
What about fishy? You guys have fish over there?
In the North Pole. Yeah.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
have this fish, yes.
Does it smell, or because it's so cold you can't really smell it?
What do elves eat?
Oh, elves?
Yeah.
Elves actually do it.
You just give them slop?
No, tree bark.
There's
But like it's
Okay.
so the trees are candy cane trees that eat the bark off the candy cane trees. Tree bark, candy cane.
You can call it candy wood.
No, darling, that's weird. I don't call it candy wood. Candy cane bark, tree bark.
She still didn't bring one thing to contribute. She never brought her dish. She then said she arrived late because she had talked to Alice, who said she was arriving even later. I called Alice, and she said her daughter had just started cooking the potatoes, and she lives 1 hour away. Infamously late in my family. Shout out to me. Alice and her niece arrived 3 hours late with the mashed potatoes, and Alice made the salad in my kitchen when she arrived. One nephew arrived 2 hours late with a bag of salad greens from the store. Mrs. Claus, I know you just got internet. Have you seen that one lady on TikTok that sees everyone's dishes when they bring it to the potluck?
No.
Oh, she's amazing. Does anyone, if you know who we're
No,
talking about?
what are you talking about?
Oh, she will like rate your dish or like, oh, it's like, I brought like literally like a bag of salad, and she's like, you get to throw right now. It's amazing.
It's like how you used to react back in the days. That's what she was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One nephew arrived 2 hours late with a bag of salad greens from the store. Another nephew arrived 3.5 hours later, then started cooking vegan burger patties on the stove. For only himself. Okay.
I have never once cooked something just for myself. Never, ever in my lifetime. It's always been for everyone, so I don't understand that.
Me too.
I don't know. As of right now, everyone's getting throw. If I were to judge this potluck,
Yeah, it's pretty weak.
yeah. One brother who lives with us didn't contribute either. I ended up cooking 100% of the meal I ate. We ate with whoever and whatever was there at 30 minutes late when we realized everyone else wasn't coming for hours. The food that was brought later was only eaten by the few that were late because 6 of the 11 people coming had already eaten. There were no apologies for being so late and being disrespectful. No apologies for not bringing something to contribute after the appointment was canceled. Nothing. All the work of house cleaning, preparation, buying enough food for 12 to 15 people, even if it was just my menu items, dinner prep, cooking, after dinner cleanup, fell entirely on who? Me.
Oh, no. See, I at least have, like, the woodland creatures to help me.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yes, I am always in contact with them, actually.
Who's your top woodland creature?
Yeah, I was about to say, who's your best helper? Yeah.
I don't like to play favorites, but if
Everyone
I had
has
to
theirs,
choose,
yeah.
there is that. It's true. Everyone does have theirs.
It's like me. I'm like one of your favorites, yeah.
If I don't- It's true. I wasn't gonna say. My number one helper is her name is Flippy, and she's a squirrel.
Aw.
And she always, sometimes she'll come and like sit on my shoulder and just whisper sweet nothings, and it just really helps me throughout my day.
That's sweet.
And then she cleans the dishes with her tail. It's such a sight to see.
That
It's
sounds,
really impressive.
That sounds unsanitary, but very sweet.
It is.
It was too much. I felt entirely taken advantage of and sent a message the day after that I am never hosting again and that the rest of them will need to make alternative arrangements for future holidays. The next holiday, they called to make plans and were shocked when I said no participating in the dinner. We were just going to have our own dinner with only my immediate family, so much less stress. While arguing about it with Alice, I explained exactly what happened and why I had stopped. She said something like, "Oh, okay, I see your point of view." And, "We didn't really think anything of it. You always do it." Since then, the rest of the family has just had holiday dinners in ones and twos by themselves. I still get inquiries if we are going to host, and I turn it around and ask them if they are going to be hosting. Always the answer is no, but I have the answer for you. You can listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to your favorite podcast app, such as iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and search up OK Storytime. We have so many stories there. Mrs. Claus is here. Maybe she'll come back.
Ooh, you know what? We should do a sequel. I would love that. I love getting out of the house. I don't do it often, but when I do.
Does Santa let you out of the house? Does he say you can't leave?
Well,
or?
no, it's not that I can't leave. I'm not like held there against my will.
Yeah, okay.
But I'm a lazy Mary sometimes. And sometimes I just like to sit around and just do my own thing. And you know, but then other days I have to work really, really hard. And so, you know, a vacation once in a while, I'm not going to say no to.
All right. Well, you know what, Mrs. Claus, you deserve a vacation.
Yeah.
You deserve to be treated like the queen you are.
Yeah.
Boys.
Agreed.
I'll put in a good word with Santa that you should get like a spa day.
You know, I've been asking him for years. I've been asking him, and he
Like-
just goes,
Like
later.
years or like millennias?
Are you kidding me right now? You're gonna bring up age in times like this?
Come on, man. Come on.
Mrs. Claus is 25 and forever
Every
25.
time! What's wrong with men?
My son just asked me, if you had changed your mind about having the whole family over for Christmas dinner, and he thought it was because of him and his dad. They were working on the truck. He had forgotten the whole family story. When I told him, he understood. But now, remember my husband, and he decided that that was the day we were having about 12 to 15 people for the holiday meal, that they had to work on the truck.
Oh. Come on. You can work on the truck whenever.
That's true. This is a holiday. Why are they not spending it together? That hurts my heart.
Why are they also not helping you with anything?
Yeah. Learn.
They were working on the truck all day. What's wrong with that truck? They had to park it right in front of the front door. No, they didn't. There was lots and lots of room elsewhere. Anyone coming to the house had to walk around the truck, through puddles, and squeeze between a planter and the truck to get in. They wouldn't even consider moving it elsewhere. They did nothing to help make the meal or assist with house cleanup or prep. I was so mad at everybody. It's all coming back, and I'm mad all over again. That's the end of that story.
My fiance called his cousin to make peace before the wedding. It went very differently. Peace be with you. I, mid-20s female, have been with my fiance for a few years. When we first started dating, his cousin, late 20s female, and I were actually really good friends. We got along great, talked all the time, went out, and did things together without my fiance, even staying the night a couple times without him. And I genuinely thought we were building a real friendship. By the way, this comes from False Anxiety 1960. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Savannah.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, then she got a boyfriend. And almost overnight, everything changed. She suddenly became convinced that I was interested in him, which was never true. I never flirted with him, never gave her a reason to think that, and honestly didn't even think of him at all. And had never even had a conversation with him without her being there. But from that point on, she started acting like I was some kind of threat, to the point of yelling at me that I wanted her boyfriend, and our friendship completely fell apart. Since then, she's been really nasty to me. She gives me glares at family events, talks about me in front of me, talks about me behind my back to other family members, and at one point told me I better keep her name out of my mouth. Who are you?
You know what I would do?
Will Smith?
I would literally just say her name.
Even though I've gone out of my way to never talk about her at all. I've always tried to keep the peace and avoid drama, but she's never seemed interested in doing the same. I've never confronted her or fought back. I have even went as far as to give her compliments when I see her and try to be overly nice to try to bridge the gap. And I just tried to be respectful for my fiance's sake. But being around her gives me a lot of anxiety, to the point that I get a pit in my stomach every time I'm around her, even when she's not directly interacting with me. I feel tense and uncomfortable the whole time. Now we're planning our wedding, and I honestly don't want her there. And looking to the future, would rather her not be around at all.
Ooh.
It's your wedding, and she sucks.
Yeah, she's not nice to you, so I wouldn't want someone who's being mean to me at my wedding.
Yeah, I would say this is what you do. Anyone says, oh, why aren't you inviting your cousin or his cousin? You say, she didn't want me to say her name, so I actually can't send her an invitation. Unfortunately, I try to find a workaround, but I can't send it if I can't say her name or write her name. It's just tough.
She did to herself.
I don't want to spend my wedding day feeling judged, stressed, and on edge. The part that makes me feel like I might be the a-hole is that my fiance really wants her there. They grew up pretty much like brother and sister, even living together when they were younger. She has babies who are a part of the family, and I don't want to exclude the kids. Also, my fiance is good friends with her husband, the same guy she thought I was interested in, and he wants him there too. I don't have an issue with him at all, but try to avoid him to make sure she doesn't get upset. But I feel like I can't invite him without inviting her, and I don't think I can handle having her at the wedding. She's not even around that often because of falling out with other family members, but when she is, it's always tense. I feel guilty because I know this is his family and he cares about them, but at the same time, it's supposed to be one of the happiest days of my life, and I don't want to be anxious the entire time. So am I the a-hole for not wanting her at the wedding? Even if it means she and possibly her husband and kids might not be included, and this could affect her and my fiance's relationship. Your fiance and her relationship should already be affected by how she treats you.
Exactly. I don't understand why he's just like brushing that off. It's she's nice to me.
Yeah, he's like, well, that's your thing with her.
Yeah, what? No, actually, it's our thing with her. I don't know what you're talking about. Fiancé? Say her name. Go ahead. Say it.
Say it.
Fiancé, her name.
P.S. I do want to state that after me and her have had blow-ups, my fiancé has defended me and has had my back, hence why I'm still here. But they are still cousins and like siblings, so I've never told them to not have a relationship with her and have always been open to resolving her issues, but she is not willing to try to be cordial. Comments. But before we get to those, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, let's go over what I got.
Yeah, what you got there on your notes?
All right.
Cousin.
Cousin is mean.
Okay.
The fiance maybe likey cousin?
In like a platonic way?
His cousin. Wait, I
That's his cousin.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Okay.
Okay. Well, not when I wrote this.
Okay.
Okay, so cousin, fiance,
So you
no
needed
likey.
more notes.
All right, and then I put my back.
All right. So your notes
In
are
cursive.
useless.
They are not.
I literally printed out the sheet behind you.
Yeah, and it's right here. I put it on here.
All
Okay.
right. Well,
I
anyway,
have
the
it.
fiance likes his cousin, but I don't think he should.
But Okay, so it's his cousin.
It's his
and
cousin.
She's mean to
OP.
OP. Ah.
Yeah.
No, that makes more sense.
We're going to get into the comments.
Let me go back here.
As we age, friendships come and go. She's not the same person who grew up with your fiance. You also mentioned she has had falling outs with other family members. Distance yourself and absolutely do not invite her or her family to the wedding. Seems like she needs to finally have consequences for her actions. I completely agree. You need to tell your husband that she's been awful to you, and he needs to get on board or jump off deck. OP says, thank you. I feel like everyone in their family tiptoes around her, and whenever she does come to family events, because she doesn't come very often, it gets made all about her because nobody ever gets to see her or her kids. So I feel like it would be the same in my wedding. And comment 2, no, your fiance does not have your back if he still wants her there. It's time you accept this reality. And OP says, my fiance literally packed all of his bags because he was living with her at the time and moved out of her house whenever everything blew up and did not talk to her until she started having kids because he wanted to be in their lives. I feel like he has done a decent job of defending me and having my back while still trying to have a relationship with his pretty much nieces and nephews. That's what's making it so tricky for me because he had wanted them, the kids there, but it feels like I can't invite her, so I'm punishing the kids. So the issue really isn't him having my back because I know he does. And there is an update. I don't know. It really doesn't feel like he fully has your back.
Yeah. No, I don't like that. And now I have updated the fiance like cousin platonically.
Mm-hmm.
I'll bring it up here. Platonically. And here is a pair of binoculars.
What are they looking at?
It's the wife, not the wife. This would be the cousin looking in at the wedding because she wasn't invited.
Keon, do you have any thoughts?
Oh.
I'll stick to my own thoughts then. But we got an update. My fiance talked to his cousin over the phone and they got into a huge fight. I was listening in, but decided to let him take the lead on the conversation since it's his cousin. She would not stop yelling at him. The minute he brought up that he wanted to talk about me, she instantly got defensive and mad, saying how she wasn't going to talk to me, that she didn't have a reason to talk about it. He pressed on and said yes, that they needed to talk about what was going to happen in the future. He said how he would love it if she could try to mend the relationship for her kids and our future kids' relationship. That's when the yelling started. Her yelling that she didn't want to have anything to do with me and said some pretty nasty things that I definitely don't want to type out.
That's insane that you're so in her head
Yeah.
that like just
She's obsessed.
the notion of you being brought up it causes her to just lose it.
Yeah, the issue is not that she wants you to keep her name out of your mouth. It's that she wants everyone to keep your name out of all of their mouths.
Right.
No one bring up OP.
Yeah.
She wants to like take you out of existence.
What did you like, the funny thing is you didn't do anything.
She did nothing. She literally did nothing. This cousin got a boyfriend. That's it. That's all that happened. He then started yelling at her, saying she's the one that's been a witch to me and every other person who says anything to her, and that she won't have anything to do with me or him or our future kids because we were done tiptoeing around her crudeness and blatant disregard for other people's emotions. He then hung the phone up and then took a shower to cool off. So yeah, thanks for all the advice, but she'll definitely not be coming to the wedding. By the way, you guys should come over and listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There's a little bit left to this story. Any final thoughts?
I was gonna say this is where you tell him I told you so.
Yeah. No, this is where you go. You go.
So are you
What
gonna
did
say
we
it?
learn?
What did I tell you? I want you to say it.
You go. You go. I told you so.
Easy.
Update 2. My partner and I were out after I posted this, and he saw my Reddit blowing up, and I showed him the comments on what others have suggested and implied about his job in this. He is now planning on talking with his cousin to see if there is a way the kids will be able to still attend, maybe with his brother, but he is going to tell her she will not be invited to the wedding or any other event that has to do with us or our future kids. He said he was hoping us getting engaged would push her to resolve any problems she had with me, but seeing as that doesn't look like it's happening, he'll be stepping away from their relationship until she can either find some common ground and start being cordial, and if that doesn't happen, he will just have to step away for good. I think he's been giving her too many chances.
Yeah.
I'm done with her. Bye.
Yeah. I think that she is annoying and she's not going to change.
No.
She has no intention of
She
like
hasn't
coming
changed.
there and having a good time.
This is clearly not a reasonable person.
Yeah.
If the whole point, if the whole reason that she's been upset with you is because she got a boyfriend, something separate from you.
No kids at this wedding.
But-
No kids.
But that's the end of that story, folks.
My mother said her heirloom plates weren't for everyday use, but I still used them.
Well played, OP.
Mm.
Well played indeed.
I was the last kid to leave home. I was an oops kid, and my older brother and sister were in high school when I was born. After I finished university, I asked my parents if I could stay at home to save up. They agreed so long as I paid for my own expenses and contributed $300 a month for food and utilities. Good deal by me. By the way, this comes from Salt Reply 735, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Savannah.
I'm Dakota.
And we are here to give some good advice. Goofy? Well, we don't have all the answers. We'd only tell you what we would do in this situation, but let us know what you would do down in those comments. As OP says, I then fell in love with a friend's neighborhood of little houses.
You
That's
fell
just
in
not
love.
where I thought that sentence was going to go.
I then fell in love with a house, a group of houses.
I thought it was going to be like a friend's neighbor, and nope,
Hey.
it just the words kept coming.
You know what they call a group of houses?
Houses?
A neighborhood.
Wow. I found one for sale and grabbed it. My
Oh.
parents downsized immediately to make sure none of us could ever move back.
Oh.
They are retired and were tired of Midwest winters. Agreed. My brother and sister are both married with children. My folks supported me and helped me get established in my career. I love them and am super thankful for everything they did for myself and my siblings. I asked them if they could please put my china cabinet, china and cutlery into storage with their stuff. They said they weren't going to get storage and were getting rid of everything they weren't going to use or store in their new place in Arizona.
Ugh.
What?
Moving to Arizona?
Yeah, it's like very hot there.
Yeah, oh god, we got tired of these Midwest winters, so we're gonna move to a place where it's 120 degrees every day.
I would.
That's so dumb
I like
to
it.
me.
I
Shout out
like
to everyone who lives in Arizona or moved there on purpose. I don't know what's going on up there.
I don't know what's happening. I asked if they could store the stuff for me, and they said no. I got a couple of friends, and we moved it into my new house. My house was built when the railroad was a big deal. They built entire neighborhoods for their workers. Tiny little houses with decent-sized yards for gardens or kids.
If you want to grow a garden or if you want to grow children.
This is the place for
Both
you.
are options in your railroad backyard.
So think 600 square feet. No basement. It still has a clothesline.
That is a tiny little house.
Yeah.
It's like a shed.
That's a room. A couple of months after I moved in, I had a housewarming party. I had exactly 4 of everything from IKEA.
No more and no less.
Plus 1 pot, 1 pan, and an air fryer.
Well, except for those things, only those more, and then no more than that.
So I used my fancy plates. It's a dinner party. My
If there was ever a time to bust out the nice china, it's at the dinner party.
It's at the housewarming party. Why wouldn't you? My friends aren't children, so none got damaged. Afterwards, I realized that I had stuff like serving trays and gravy boats. Everything an adult needs to adult.
All aboard the gravy boat, please. I'm gonna be on that gravy boat any day now. Yeah.
Yeah. Regarding food service, anyways. So I just use them all the time. Mostly when I have people over, but also when I have not done dishes and I want to not eat out of takeout containers over the sink.
So,
What?
I will say, I feel like this story is definitely going to a place where they're going to be like, you're using the fine china. That should be kept in storage. But it's like, why do you even have it? Sell it. Sell it
true.
for whatever it's worth. Because if these are worth like thousands of dollars, freaking sell them to whoever wants that stuff. And then go buy actual dishware and pocket the rest of the money.
And then they'll put it in their storage to not use for years and years.
Fine china is stupid to me.
Yeah. It's kind of like you get it just as like a decoration and like can't actually use it.
It's a relic of the old world. Like nobody needs that anymore.
I don't want china in my household. I was FaceTiming with my folks and eating, and they noticed that I was eating off a Royal Wedgwood Precious Moments plate, using Ming Dynasty Imperial silverware.
Okay, now I don't know what Ming Dynasty Imperial silverware goes for, but I'm keeping that.
Yeah.
Because that sounds awesome.
I may have some terms wrong here, but you get the point. Mom asked me why I was using that plate and fork to eat. She said it was only for special occasions, that it was an heirloom meant to be cherished and protected for generations. Not exaggerating here. That's what she said. By the way, I'm going to say that you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast app and just search up OK Storytime.
Oh, yeah.
There's a little bit left. I don't think it really I mean, I guess, like, it's a generational thing. You want it to be nice. But, like, how many times do you, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it, dog. Plates are not heirlooms. They're plates. They're plates. They're just plates. You know, if you're going to have an heirloom, make it a piece of jewelry. Make it a crown of some kind.
Make it a candle holder.
Make it like a suit. Or like
a suit.
You know, or like a chandelier or something. Something that's not just plates. Ming Dynasty silverware?
Gimme.
Keep that around for a while. Let's give it all the way from the Ming Dynasty. Let's keep that train a rolling, right? Let's make the silverware handed down, okay? But get rid of the plates. Sell it to whoever wants the plates, right?
Right. I told them that they were my plates and I would use them however I wanted. They got very upset and hung up. Then I got calls from my brother and sister. They both admitted they only called because Mom told them to. They said to do whatever I wanted. They said that they weren't huge fans of fancy china, but that Mom had insisted it go on their registries. So these were a gift from, like, their wedding, I'm guessing.
I would sell everything that isn't that cool silverware. Again, just get rid of it. Why do we have it?
That's true. If you can't use it, it's just like hanging out.
It's
like
true,
taking up space.
Yeah. Turn it into money.
That's true. We had a big laugh, and I promised to tell Mom. They told me to save my nice stuff for a royal visit. My mom actually ordered me an 8-person set of cheap china to use every day. I thanked her, and I am using that instead. Unless I want to feel fancy. Don't tell my mom.
We're telling we actually maybe just told everybody. We've told everyone.
I'm telling her, Mama, I'm using Ming Dynasty.
I'm using the Ming Dynasties today.
Uh-oh, you see the spoon? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I got myself a burrito bowl, and I want to feel like a Ming Dynasty nobleman.
Ooh, here comes the fine china right into my trap.
Yeah. Honey, we're having company. Why don't you bust out the Mings?
Bust out that dynasty you got.
Yeah, but why don't you bust out the dynastics?
Dynastics.
Gotta bust out the dynastics for him, babe.
My father refused to watch Snow White with my daughter, so I uninvited him. For good! Your father sounds like the evil queen. My husband and I have a monthly tradition with our children, 8 male and 5 female. On the last Saturday of every month, so in this case the 29th, one of them picks a movie for us to watch in theaters. Afterwards, we have pizza at a place they love and talk about the film we just watched. That's so sweet. It started out as a way to teach the kids critical thinking skills, but it's since become something we all love and look forward to. By the way, this comes from Movie Night's Throwaway. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Savannah. I'm Sophia.
I'm Skion.
And we're here to give some good advice, goofily. We don't have all the answers. I'll only tell you what we would do in this situation, but let us know what you would do in the comments. Yup. Yeah. As Opie says, last month my son picked Flo. The kids told my father about it during a visit, and he wanted to tag along. He came with us, and the kids loved it. So we invited him to come with us again this time, and he agreed. This month it's my daughter's turn to pick. She wants to watch the new Snow White reboot. She's very excited about it. And knowing her, she won't change her mind. So I informed my father about it over a week ago. A couple days ago, my father told me he's no longer coming with us because he doesn't want to watch a girly woke movie.
What?
It's Snow White.
It's Snow White.
What is woke about it?
I don't know.
It still ends with a man like somehow,
Yeah.
you know, oh, we kissed and now everything's fine. We live happily ever after.
That's so silly. It's too woke. Why? That's so silly.
Especially Snow White out of all.
It's Snow White. I don't know.
I don't know,
think
I didn't
there are,
see it,
I
but-
didn't see it. I think there are probably reasonable reasons to not like it, but I think most of the reasons were stupid.
He said he'll join us next time. Womp womp. I told him I don't care about the opinions he made before watching it, or that he thinks the movie will be bad. This isn't about him, it's about the kids.
Yeah, also, yeah, it's a kid's movie. Why are you getting, like, I'm sorry, if she, like, wanted to watch, I don't know,
He wanted to
Cinderella.
watch one battle after another. He's like, that's a movie I want to
That's
watch.
a movie. She's
That's a
got
movie.
taste.
Why aren't we watching The Godfather?
Why aren't we watching?
They need to know.
We should be watching Ex Machina. And she's
I want to
like,
watch The Expendables.
that's a child.
I also don't like that he's trying to skip the first of my daughter's picks that he's been invited to. He got offended and started going on about how he knew he wouldn't like this specific movie and he'd attend if my daughter had picked something else. His behavior is showing me that he values his preconceived opinions more than what his grandchildren like and are excited about. So I said that while he's well within his rights to opt out this time, we will no longer invite him to movie nights with us.
Yes, you're gone. You're out of here.
I guess you're watching a movie by yourself,
I guess
my guy.
you can go watch Inglorious Beastars by yourself.
Givenator of all things, man with a limp.
What? There's no man with a limp in
No.
there.
You don't understand. Thought process. Man with a limp to get to Usual Suspects, because Usual Suspects sounds like Inglorious Bastards to me.
You lost me.
It's all coming together. It's all coming together.
Okay, Sophia is going a little cuckoo.
It's all coming together.
Now my father's upset. He claims I'm being petty and unfair and that I'm making up too many rules.
What rules?
You're making up rules. I don't want to watch a feminist Snow White. Too many rules in this house.
She sleeps too much.
She sleeps too much. What is this, Sleeping Beauty? For the time he spends with his own grandchildren. Am I the AITAH?
No, he literally said he didn't want to spend time with his grandchildren because they picked a movie he didn't like. So that's on him.
He's literally the one who made a rule.
Yeah, he's making the rules. He said if I don't like the movie that we're watching, we're not watching
He said,
it.
I want to watch a mafia movie, and I don't care how old they are. I don't want to be feminist. I'm a man.
I'm a
and I don't
man.
wanna.
I don't want to be woke. I want to be asleep.
Fruit fly, not the a-hole. I'm sorry. Is that not what it says? Fruit fly. The whole point is to be together as a family, not to watch a movie that everyone will love. Not only does he not get that, his rationale is gross and demonstrates that he isn't the best person to be around your kids. I don't mean like go no contact or that he is dangerous. Our cruel. But to say, woke girly movie means he is also likely to tell your son he runs like a girl, or to put down your daughter's interest to her face. So not giving him a chance to act like that is probably for the best. And your daughter will notice if he only shows up for your son's movies. And if he did go to her movies, he is likely to make comments like this during or after the movie. If he can't fathom a world where he sits quietly during a movie he doesn't enjoy, then he likely can't keep his comments to himself either. OP frickin' responds, I'm worried about the comments he might make afterwards as well. I don't think he's cruel, just horribly misinformed about a lot of stuff. So far, he's never said words like girly or woke to my children directly, but my husband and I will watch it more closely after this. More on OP's father's behavior. OP responds, it's not the first time he decides not to watch something because he just knows it will be bad. Talking to him about the Barbie movie was horrible. But it's the first time he insists on this when my children are involved. Just a plus sign. OP responds.
To add, I think.
What does that mean? Oh, to add. To be honest, the fact he's willing to do this is very disappointing. He complains all the time about how he wishes he could spend more time with the kids, but when they invite him to watch a movie with them, he declines because he thinks it will be woke. Impressive amoeba. 97. Oh, it's a downvoted comment.
Oh.
You the a-hole. Because an invitation is not a summons, and not everyone is going to be on board with every movie. You're projecting yourself on your father and teaching your children to be black and white and people pleasers instead of showing them people do things they enjoy, and if someone isn't going to enjoy something, you'll catch them on the next round. Your teaching invitations should force other people to do your will, instead of people having free will to accept and decline invitations as they wish. You are very much the a-hole here, and seem to possess very little of the critical thinking skills you claim you want your children to have. Instead, you're teaching them control mechanisms which lead to mutiny.
This comment is wild, and I'm not even gonna respond to it.
Yeah, this comment also didn't watch Snow White.
Yeah, this comment also didn't like or watch Snow White.
Or Barbie, yeah.
This commenter also hates women.
Yes.
OP responds, I'm not teaching my kids any of that. I haven't even decided what I'm telling them yet. I also have no interest in controlling my father. I just refuse to be the only one making an effort in his relationship with his grandchildren. He wanted to come before finding out what the movie was, then changed his mind because he doesn't think he'll like it. As I've said before, this is purely about what my children want to do. I don't want to watch all the movies they pick. I do it anyway because I care about spending time with them more. Well, there's an update 10 days later.
Oh boy.
First of all, we saw the movie. My father didn't join us. After my post, I took some time to think about everything and concluded that there was never a way to solve this in a way that made everyone happy. I can't say I wasn't disappointed in my father. He complains all the time about how he wishes he could spend more time with the kids, but then openly declines an opportunity to do so because they wanted to watch a movie he decided was woke. I can't pretend that's not what happened here. Though I don't think we can truly form an opinion on a film's quality without watching it, at no point did I ever think my father needed to be interested in this movie. He is well within his rights to avoid it if he doesn't think he'll like it. However, if he declines to watch a movie with his grandchildren because he thinks it will be girly, I am also well within my rights to stop inviting him.
Ooh. Yeah. So true.
By the way, you are in your rights to listen to full episodes with stories just like this. If you go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast app, and just search OK Story Time. What do we got left here?
I
A little
agree.
bit is what
I agree. I have no more thoughts. I just agree. And that's it.
Yeah, I think the downvoted comment is downvoted for a reason because they suck.
I agree. It's so funny how that works. Me agreeing.
So funny how that works.
So funny.
I spoke with my father a few days after my post. We did have another argument, but ultimately settled on the following. Because he watched my son's last pick with us, he's invited to watch my daughter's next pick in May to make it fair. After that, we'll discuss whether we'll keep inviting him or not. He wasn't happy with that, but agreed. For a number of reasons, my image of my father has been shattering for a while now. I love him, and he's a genuinely good grandfather, but I'm not sure he's still the kind of person I'd want to be around otherwise. I don't think I know how to explain that, but it's certainly something I need to work through. Thanks, everyone.
Wow. Well, there you go.
I guarantee you, Grandpa's like, when do I get to pick a movie?
When's it my turn? I got so many good movie options.
I want to watch Indiana Jones
Well, that's actually
30 times in a row.
That's like not a bad one.
I want to watch Sweeney Todd.
I told the tale of Sweeney Todd.
My cousin refused to pay what he owed, so I let the courts decide.
Let the law have him and be done with it.
My family is all on my cousin's side for this issue, and I wanted some outside judgment. My cousin, 25 male, has always been the golden child of our generation. He's funny, good-looking, and outgoing, not to mention a boy amongst girls. He's always loved to mess around and play pranks. For the record, I really dislike this cousin. I think he's irresponsible, childish, and annoying. By the way, this comes from Am I the A-Hole Hearing Aids. And
Uh-oh.
Are they okay?
what?
I have a sneaking suspicion.
Uh-oh.
And if you want to submit your stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Savannah.
I'm Dakota.
I'm Sophia.
And we are here to give some good advice in a very funny manner. And you're going to listen and maybe judge. And then you're going to give your opinion in the comments. And then we're going to laugh and judge that as well. Let's do it all at the same time. Ready? On 3. 1, 2, 3. As
Right.
OP says. I have had hearing problems for years. I recently got a $6,000 pair of hearing aids. Recently, at my grandmother's birthday party, we were all eating and drinking on the back porch. My grandmother has a pool. My cousin decided he was going to throw me in the pool because it would be funny to ruin my hair that I just got done that day. I repeatedly told him to stop and put me down in a very serious and not playful at all tone. He threw me in the pool and my hearing aids were ruined. Afterwards, when I told him what happened, he basically said, "Oops, didn't know you had hearing aids now." When I told him the cost of them and that he would have to replace them, he freaked out and said, "No way." My family didn't want me to make him pay for them because I significantly out-earned him and also everyone else in the family. He was in college at the time, barely making ends meet in a call center job. His girlfriend and him have a baby and they live in a 1-bedroom apartment. He refused to pay, so I took him to court. I won. He refused to make the payments after. So I took him back to court, and his wages are now being garnished for the maximum amount, which is 20% of his total wages. It pushed him over the edge of what he could afford. So he's had to work extra and drop out of college to be able to pay their rent. Yeah, that's kind of crappy of you, OP, but I understand.
Nah, I'm with you, OP. That guy's circumstances are not your fault or your responsibility. If he was, if he wanted to avoid this, he would have went, "Oh my God, well, that's my bad. Oh, that's terrible. $6,000. I can't pay that all back to you right now. How do we do this?" And then you figure out a payment plan that doesn't involve 20% of your wages every month. And maybe that makes it a little easier for you. But because you didn't do that, now you are legally mandated to do so, and you have no choice. So, kind of did that to yourself there.
By the way, you have a choice to listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast app and just search up OK Storytime. Let's just get into it. My family is absolutely fuming at me. I think he made one bad choice after the other, and he has never given a sincere apology during this whole ordeal. Had he gave a real apology after the incident and asked if he could wait till he finished school to pay me back, I would have been fine with it. But the entitled little prick is digging his feet in at every move. Am I the a-hole? The only reason I could see me maybe being the a-hole is because it's affecting his child and girlfriend.
I mean, true, but it's his fault that they're being affected. He couldn't just suck it up and not be childish for like 1 minute and be like, "Okay, I do need to make this right because, yeah, I threw you in the pool." Although, if you are getting thrown in the pool, you should have been like, "Stop, don't. I have $6,000 hearing aids on. Stop. $6,000, $6,000. So, but anyway, it's still not your fault.
I refuse to forgive my grandmother, even though she's close to kicking the bucket.
How dare she do that to that bucket?
I am a 30-year-old female, and I have been trying to go no contact with my grandma, but I keep getting pushed to let her stay in my life. By the way, this comes from Mammoth Order 5605, directly from the r/OK Storytime subreddit.
Woo!
And if you want to submit your own stories, go to that subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Dakota.
I'm Angie. And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have the answers. We only know what we'd do. Let us know what you would do in the comments. NOP says, for some backstory, my grandma has always been uptight and judgmental. She has shown clear favoritism over her children and grandchildren. Growing up across the country from her, while my mom's family all lived near her, didn't help. I have a cousin, 29 male, let's call him N. Let's call him Neil. That she was always favored because he came from a bad home. Well, yes, his home life sucked. I didn't know much about it until I was an adult. As a child, I just didn't understand why I wasn't as important. There was a specific time I can remember that my grandma made a deal with Neil that if he... deal with Neil, they're so silly. That if he got honor roll in school, she would take him to the mouse house. Of course, she made that deal while on the phone with my mom, and I heard it. My mom made her offer me the same deal. And guess who actually kept the deal? She wasn't happy about taking me, and I could tell. All of my cousins would go spend a month of the summer with her and my step-granddad, but my brother and I were never invited. Every time when we could come visit, it was never fun unless our step-grandpa took us down to the river or out for a four-wheeler ride. We would get consistently yelled at and made to feel small. I still remember getting yelled at because I didn't know the ornament container was one of those snap connector ones, and when I picked it up, the ornaments dropped out and broke. I cried when she yelled at me, and she never apologized. For birthdays, all my brother and I got was a $2 bill. Well, those are kind of rare. That's cool.
Those might even be worth $4.
And for Christmas, a savings bond. I was 9 when she gave me the last savings bond. Our cousins would get multiple gifts. So there is some backstory of childhood, and not even all of it. As an adult, I thought it had gotten better until Neil got with his ex. Neil would go through issues with her, and I would end up in the middle. Oh, Neil. When they would argue, I was the mediator who called them both out on their BS. Well, come to find out, Neil was treating her like crap, and true to who I am, I called him out. She told me he was talking badly about her to friends and family. I brought it up, and he denied it and told me to look at his messages. He gave me his login, and I signed in to take a look. Well, he had deleted a lot of messages, so I couldn't get a clear view of what was said. Yeah, he's like, take a look at my phone. She's like, and it's like the redacted government files.
Yeah.
She's like, I can't read this.
Black bars.
Yeah, he's like, well, those are classified, so you can't. Sorry, you can't read those. This is something we had issues with before because he would accuse me of things to our family and then delete the messages before people could see them. And no one would take my word as proof. One night, my iPad wasn't working properly, and I ended up clicking into his account since it was still on my logged-in account. Neil called me and freaked out. I logged out immediately and deleted the account from my list right after it happened. Well, on top of him yelling at me, he went to our grandma and told on me like we were 5 years old. Neil, why are you being a little snitch? Snitches get stitches, Neil.
Grandma.
She logged into my account.
Grandma.
Now, during all of this, she had already been yelling at me for being involved with Neil and his ex's issues, even though they asked me to be. Honestly, I do think that you should just, let them do their own thing and tell them, hey, I don't care. Stop involving me.
That is an option. You can just go, I'm not going to add my 2 cents to this equation.
Yeah, if it's so much, drama every time you try and help them and then your grandmother gets involved, then it's maybe just best to leave them be. Neil only had an issue with it after asking me because I wouldn't side with him blindly. So our grandma came at me and yelled at me. I finally told her that I was out of it and not to get involved with mine and Neil's issues like we were kids or to even talk to me about Neil again. Things were okay for about 1.5 years, and I even allowed her to come to my wedding. She had surprisingly behaved at my wedding. Well, about 1 year after my wedding, I gave birth to my first son. We decided to go to my husband's family for Christmas. On our way, I got a message from my grandma after she saw a post I made with my son. Backing up a little, after everything Neil had pulled and caused, he wasn't able to see his kids with his ex for about 1 year or so without having to go through a third party, which he didn't like doing. Back to the message, my grandma sent me a text saying that while I was sitting, holding, and kissing my baby, I should think about how Neil hasn't been able to see his kids, which she thinks I helped with. She literally is getting on you for just holding your baby? She's like, you can hold your baby and I would just text her back, I thought you told me not to get involved. I'm not getting involved, sorry.
You guys speaking out of both sides of your mouth right now.
After that, I told her I was done and blocked her. She had crossed my boundary and tried to make me feel guilty about holding my son. I didn't talk to her or even allow any access to my family for a little under 1 year until I got stuck being around her because she was visiting my family when my son and I flew to visit as well. She apologized to me about what she said. The apology basically was, I'm sorry you took it that way, that's actually not an apology.
Right.
So that's a pretty bad apology.
It's actually being blamed.
Yeah, she actually just blamed you for how she treated you. She was polite and nice enough that I did allow little glimpses into my life on my terms, though, which meant very low contact. After a year of low contact and having my second child, I allowed her to come visit me in the state I currently live in. Her and my mom both came, which is a nightmare in itself because of me and my mom's relationship. When she flew in, I went and picked her up. My husband was deployed at this point, so it was just me and the kids. The first thing she did was judge me for my spicy book obsession. Leave your spicy book obsession out of it. She's just jealous.
Why does she even know about your spicy book obsession?
I don't know. Maybe it's on the covers. Maybe it's one of those covers like the Ice Planet Barbarian cover.
What the hell are you talking about?
You've never heard of Ice Planet Barbarians? It's crazy, man. I had a friend who read it, and she read me some passages. It's crazy. We went and stopped by Walmart, where my mom and brother had gotten to, for my brother to drop her off to me. My grandma had been hugging and cuddling both of my kids. If I saw her cuddling the kids, I'd be like, wow, you're really cuddling my kids while Neil can't hug his?
How dare you?
The whole time we were outside Walmart and while we were inside. I didn't think anything of it because it's just hugs. My mom bent towards my youngest, who was only about 7 months at the time, and I thought she had kissed him. When we finished checking out and we were leaving, I just gave my mom a reminder that kissing my 2-year-old is okay because his immune system is more developed, but not to kiss my under 1-year-old. She said okay, and she understood. But my grandma kept telling me I couldn't tell her not to kiss my son. Actually, you can, and you can also make it so that your grandmother never sees your son. I told her 3 times. My mom told her 2 times, and my mom even told her that when she had kissed my youngest, when he was barely 2 months old, she had lost the ability to hold my child for an entire day. Well, my grandma decided to ignore us and kiss my youngest right in front of me. I literally almost left her at Walmart. If she's blatantly disobeying your boundaries or just brushing past your boundaries, I would say, sorry, you can never, be alone or hold my kid again until you have learned your lesson, which I don't think you're gonna.
I'd blow in her face.
Yeah.
I'd go.
Spitting it.
I go.
I'd cough in her face. I go, oh, you should be fine with the germs. You can't tell me what to do.
And she'd go, ow, why you doing? Ow, ah. And
Blow
I'd say,
away. Until she floats off into the sky. She only apologized because my mom told her I had the rule because my boys had just gotten over being sick. Couldn't have to do that. We were headed out to the car when she casually brought up how the person next to her on the plane had been coughing and hacking the entire flight. Did you not like that? Was that upsetting to you? Mind you, I picked her up straight from the airport and went right to Walmart, so she hadn't changed at all and had been hugging up on my boys. I told my mom that if my boys got sick due to her negligence, I absolutely didn't want anything to do with her at all. Well, guess what? Me and both boys got sick. Yeah, 'cause Grandma was on the plane getting coughed on, and she goes, oh, I hate it when they coughed on me. And then she gets sick. Unbelievable.
Soaked up every germ in the airport.
So I told my mom my grandma doesn't get to know anything about me and my boys. It's been a few months, and my husband is home and agrees that we won't have any contact with my grandma. My mom called the other day and asked if I wanted family pictures from the reunion I didn't go to this past summer. I told her I was fine with getting ones of the aunt I still have contact with and her family. The full family pics include Neil and my grandma, and I don't want anything with the 2 of them in it. My mom keeps telling me to forgive my grandma, because she's still my grandma and the only grandparent I have left. Nope, she sucks. The only grandma I have left stinks. She's gone. I don't feel any connection to her after everything she's done and after she has stomped on every boundary I've ever put. By the way, my boundary is that I would like you to listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There is a little bit left to the story, but yeah. When any family member blatantly disrespects the rules that you're putting in place for the safety of your child, blow them away. Get lost.
Bring out your inner big bad wolf and say,
yeah. And I huff and I puff and I blow my grandma away.
That's right. Like a dandelion.
Yeah, you can make a wish on your grandma. She floats away and you go, I wish to never see grandma again. But there's a little bit left. I told her that it doesn't matter if she is my only grandparent. It doesn't give her the right to do whatever she wants without consequences. She can make her choices, but I can choose not to have her in my family's life. My mom brought up that my grandma just had surgery because of skin cancer, and it looks like it might have already spread, and there's no telling how much time she has left. I told her I'm sorry she's dealing with it, but that still doesn't mean she gets a pass. Am I the a-hole for going no contact? I don't feel like I am, but it's always been drilled into my head that family is family no matter what. I just don't know how to feel. You should feel like you're not the a-hole, because you're not. Trying to protect your kids, and that's the most important thing at the end of the day.
I don't know, man. It just feels like you could still be like, hey, I heard that you're sick, and I hope that you're okay. Even if she's like,
Grandma?
yeah.
Grandma literally said, oh, I'm sick, and then gave an under
Yeah,
a year
sure.
old.
She's a silly baby. It's the
Nah,
same thing.
I'm not saying I hope you're
I'm
okay.
not going to let you around my kids, but I hope that you don't die of cancer is I feel like a fair thing to say.
Does she have cancer? Did I miss that?
Yeah, she has skin cancer,
Oh.
and it might have spread.
I thought you were talking. I read that and didn't register that at all. I thought you were talking about her getting sick from the flight.
No.
Oh, yeah.
No, that's just, no. So I was like, damn.
Oh,
It's
okay,
like,
wait.
you can't, I don't give a
Yeah.
shit if you have cancer. You got my kids sick. I'll be like, Dickie, oh, shit.
Sorry.
Oof.
I think that,
Yeah.
you can cut off grandma and still be like, I'm sorry you have cancer. I didn't realize, I didn't register when I read that she had cancer. I was still thinking about her getting people sick from the flight.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with you, Dakota.
Yeah, she doesn't have to be like #1 on the list for babysitting now.
Oh, she's not anywhere on the list.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
like you don't have to now be like, and now you're going to be here every day.
Yeah, I don't think you have
But-
to have a relationship with her, but I think you can be like,
Yeah,
hey, sorry about that.
you don't have to wish illness upon her either.
No, I thought we were
So-
just talking about the plane sickness.
Yeah.
Yep, I have different opinions.
Yeah.
But we've got another story coming up. I refused my mother-in-law's access to my baby. Now the whole family is furious.
My baby, my rules.
And there is a trigger warning for mentions of abuse. So I've been sitting on this for a while, and I'm very unsure of what to do. My partner has always had a very hard relationship with his mother. When we first got together, he explained the history in a lot of details without going into full detail. There is a lot that she accused him of and made sure everybody in the family outcasted him for. And that started from him being age 8 when it got very seriously bad. By the way, this comes from Antique Interest 959 on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to that subreddit. I'm Sophia.
And I'm Savannah.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we'd do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. I, at the time, didn't know all of the history, but she was showing what I thought was genuine care, so I did want to work on the relationship with the mother in hopes that we could all be close. When I fell pregnant, that was put to the test. I, till now, still feel very guilty for putting my partner through this, but we did deal with her during my pregnancy, and it happened many times that she would antagonize him over and over again to try and get a reaction. However, he didn't react because him and I already had a conversation about not reacting in hopes that she would stop. Keeping in mind, it was very small, petty things she would start on. For example, he would say when she would be driving, because she would pick us up when we went out together, "How about we go this way?" And she would start an entire argument about how she's right, he's wrong, and how dare he tell her anything while she's driving. He would sit in silence and she would keep going. He obviously after this stopped saying anything, but she would keep finding things to start on. Another example being at the shops together because she wanted to be involved in the pregnancy. We were looking for pajamas for the hospital for me, and my partner and I were playful bickering. That's the type of relationship we have. I would never change our relationship. I love what we have. However, she saw that playful bickering as a chance to start calling him harmful towards me, even when I said he was not being harmful. We're not arguing. But due to what she started, we were all out of the mood of shopping, and we're going back to the car because of it. And she continued the entire way, all the way up to the car and in the car ride back. When his mother and I would have our own days together, because when my partner would work, she would take me to the hospital for checkups. As soon as my partner was not there, all she did was crap talk him. And it was every single time. Her own son?
What does
So
she have against
strange. She
him?
really does not like her son. I tried to put up boundaries. I tried to say what a good partner he is to me. And it just felt wrong that I had to constantly defend my partner to his mother. I could keep listing examples, but I would be here for a lifetime. I also don't want to have to trigger anyone with some of the details. Now, we had gotten to the end of my pregnancy and she gave me an offer. If I needed to go anywhere, to ask and let her know, and she would see what she could do. We reached out a week in advance to see if she could drop us off somewhere on Friday morning, and she said that should be fine. Just remind her the day before to make sure she's still free. Thursday morning, we called to ask to make sure it was still okay, and keeping in mind my partner had her on speaker, so I heard everything. She went off about how he was disregarding her and her life and her plans, and she can't drop everything for his demands. Without trying to talk over, he just told her, please don't stress. It's all good. We're just asking. That's all. But she kept going. My partner needed to leave for work, so he was in a rush to get off the phone and said, it's all good. Don't stress. Just asking. Then, once we got off the phone to her, the text spam started. She completely went off on him about how disrespectful he is. Now she's had enough of his. It was just the most insane things I had ever heard. He did try to write back saying, hey, I said it's all good. I wasn't trying to pressure you, trying to make sure she understood that we weren't mad or anything. When her texts just kept coming, I told my partner not to reply anymore. Yeah, at that point, I'm not even hanging out with her. I'm not seeing her anymore.
Yeah, I'd be like, okay, cool. Bye then.
Yeah, I guess that's the last time we're hearing from you.
Yeah, I'd be like, obviously, this isn't serving you. It's definitely not serving
Yeah.
me, so I'm gonna go.
You just hit her with the, you have been unsubscribed from this service. Did not matter. She lost it. She ended up saying that she didn't want to deal with him anymore, and she dropped off the baby seat she had for the newborn on my mother's lawn 10 minutes before it was to rain. It was just luck that my sister pulled up to the house and took it in as she went inside. Obviously, we did not know this, but that day was the day I ended up going into labor. Well, thank goodness we got that baby seat back. That's good. I went into labor that night. In complete honesty, I didn't want to deal with it anymore. I tried to make things work just to watch her continuously try to trigger my partner. I'm very big on mental health. I'm also big on not giving a dang about how many nice things you do for me. Doesn't erase the bad. It's actually another reason I don't like accepting favors, because I don't want to feel like I owe you anything. Anyway, to get to the point, I said I don't want her around the baby until she apologizes for how she acted that day. It was completely unreasonable and out of nowhere. My partner was in agreement. Also, keeping in mind we got to the hospital at 2 a.m., and by 4:45 a.m., I had given birth. We didn't start making calls to family members until about 8 a.m. I could be wrong. I wasn't watching the time, but by 9 o'clock, we had already started receiving calls and text messages about how dare we not let her know that I had given birth. We literally had only started making calls at that point. A very, very close friend of ours that was there helping during the pregnancy a lot, cooking, food, prep, etc. An auntie of mine that helped me throughout my pregnancy, and an auntie of his before we even got to continue calls. Yes, we were going to call his mom. I just wanted it to wait, due to me honestly being angry about the day before. Sorry, but I wasn't ready to deal with it right after giving birth. Once we received a call about how dare we not let her know that her grandchild was born, I was just over it. And I said to my partner, please don't call them. I don't want to deal with this. If they want to act like children, they get the silent treatment. I'm not dealing with grown adults acting like kids. We did have to stay extra time at the hospital, as there was also something we needed to check on our baby. So my hospital stay ended up being 5 days. So about 45 mental breakdowns later, we finally got to go home. And then the demands started. We had to let things go so they could come and meet the baby. I put my foot down. I don't give a dang. I'm sorry, but I'm watching my partner get better by not seeing you. And now you want me to allow you around my child when you can't even admit what you did wrong, nor apologize for it? If you can't even respect my partner, your own son, then how am I meant to believe you're going to be a good grandmother to your first grandchild? What sort of stability would I be showing my child by allowing this? The Annie that we called, on his side, even sent a message saying she didn't even want to hear our side of what happened because it doesn't matter. We need to let it go. Then, when that didn't work, she sent a message saying to the both of us in the group chat, I have made the decision that we are going to come see the baby, so let us know when it works. You're just going to get over it. I'm sorry, but absolutely not. I just could not believe the audacity. Like, what do you mean you made the decision? What? Who gave you the right to make that decision? Anyway, it's now a year later and they still haven't met the baby because they refuse to apologize. His mother still believes she's done nothing wrong. I'm sorry, after months of me watching what she does, then watching her little outbursts, like, no, you're an adult. You want to talk about taking accountability? Why does that apply to everyone but you? Now, this is where I'm conflicted. I still don't want them to meet our baby. Nothing has been resolved. They even want us to take fault for everything and let it go. And now my partner's grandfather is having health issues. They are in his ear about meeting the baby. And honestly, it's infuriating me because he's not in the best health at all, and you're going to manipulate him like this when he's at his worst? This is just insane to me. His grandfather wants us to allow my partner's mother to meet the baby before he passes, knowing that I have been firm about wanting that without an apology from her first. Also, quick apology, as I know I keep saying, but please understand that my partner and I did make all these decisions together. We were in agreement about everything. I've kind of just got angry and went off here thinking about it all. But it shouldn't make you angry to know that we've got full episodes of stories just like this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio. Just search up OK Storytime. And we've got a little bit left to this story.
I mean, I just think that using the grandfather to be like, oh, my last dying wish.
Yeah, it's not even for him to see the baby. It's for
Right?
That's for
yeah.
OP's husband's mom to see the baby.
So it's definitely like her manipulating him to be
Yeah.
like, you're not going to be here much longer, blah, blah. And he's like, I don't really care.
He's like,
Blah, blah, blah.
whatever.
She's like, well, but I want to see the baby though. So like, tell them that you want me to see the baby.
Yeah.
And they should do that because you're going to pass soon.
He's like, oh, I guess so. We don't want to upset his grandfather, and we would like to give him what he's asking for. Would it be okay, I guess, to just buckle under to give him what he wants, even though it means they get what they want too? I'm very firm about my boundaries, but I'm not sure if I'm doing wrong by my family by allowing them to manipulate their way to get what they want. I tried to make this as short as possible, and I'm sorry that it kind of did end up being longer. Please, any advice? I would honestly continue to hold your boundaries, but offer them the solution.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like as long as you have stated what your boundaries are,
Yeah.
you have stated what your terms are. It is your child. You can do whatever you please
Yeah.
with this child. If you don't want these people in your life, then no. Then sorry, the answer is no. Until you do this thing that
Yeah.
I need you to do.
Yeah.
For my sanity and for our family sanity, just do it. I just feel like even if she didn't mean it, she could just say it to do it, but she
Literally.
just won't.
It's so easy. It's so easy. You want something. There is one way to get it. Just do it. But that is the end of that story and the end of this episode.